I'm not the girl that I used to be. Sometimes I'm more than words. I'm beyond what I once was. I don't believe in love. Hey, hey. If I want something, I got it. Hey, hey. Oh, baby, I don't need love me. Hey, hey. Cause the love I cannot buy it. Wasn't real with you, boy. Real, wasn't real with you, boy. You won't give me too much chances. I don't care if I am fancy brighter. Yeah, yeah, oh boy, I'm telling you goodbye, I'm telling you goodbye. Yeah, oh boy, I'm telling you goodbye, I'm telling you goodbye. Chances I don't care if I am fancy brighter. Yeah, yeah, oh boy, I'm telling you goodbye, I'm telling you goodbye. Yeah, oh boy, I'm telling you goodbye, I'm telling you goodbye.
they haven't set up their positions well, allowing cats. Oh my god! Good evening, everyone. We are back with the Professionals Tournament on the eve of the Group 2 bracket finals. So first of all, giveaway. We have a very exciting giveaway. We are going to give away 10 battle passes tonight, June battle passes. In order to enter the giveaway, I think the instructions are pinned in the chat and also in the description there. So have a look, and I would probably type start when you can start guessing, and I would also probably say start as well. And before the first match starts, I would say stop guessing, and you cannot guess after that. And for now, tonight we're going to open the guessing game very soon. So you'll be guessing the damage put out by, let me double check, by BPS Gravitas team in the second game, not the first game, second game. The three closest guesses will receive the June battle pass. So go ahead, and I think I should have typed it probably a few minutes ago. So go ahead and start guessing now. So apart from that, let's begin with the formats of this tournament, professional tournament. Besides me, we have Eminet joining us for co-commentary. Hello there. How are you, Eminet?
I'm doing good. Missing the Eurovision for this.
Yes. Semi-final 2 is going to start in around an hour, and unfortunately, the games are clashing. We're going to miss the first half on that, however. I don't think we will miss the voting though. I think I can vote tonight, so probably I'll get some votes in.
I really just wanted to point this out so all you viewers know how much this means to us, because we're both pretty much Eurovision diehard fans.
Yeah, especially. I mean, I've been following the national finals pretty much every single year.
Oh.
Oh yeah. So I can understand. But really good songs tonight, so hopefully while you tune into the stream during the breaks, you can slip out and watch Eurovision. Okay, so
yeah, back to the tournament at hand. I am looking forward to these matches as well.
Me too. I'm looking forward as well. But let's start off with Professionals Tournament. A lot of people are very confused about this new format. So basically, it's just two stages of double elimination stage. So we are in group 2, so there are 4 teams there. So Eminet, would you mind explaining further what it means by the group stage format?
Basically, it's a double elimination format, meaning that you can lose once and it won't have any complications for you, but if you lose twice, you're out of the tournament. And tonight we first have the upper bracket finals, which is LOCA versus BPS Gravitas. And then the loser of that has to go against A1N1. And the winner of that has to go against the winner of the first match again, to make things highly complicated. Both the two that go in the grand finals of tonight are actually through to the next round, which is another double elimination with 4 teams that starts tomorrow. I still do not understand why Wargaming didn't just go for a double elimination bracket for 8 teams, but here we are.
I think Wargaming is just experimenting different methods. I don't know, but I think this one I prefer it more than the winter in my opinion. But at the moment, but I still think round robin is the best kind of.
Yeah, it's more true, less RNG, less luck dependent. I get that it takes more time. In the same way, I'm not a fan of this format. I am a fan of the fact that it's just a few days. It's basically 5 days of dieharding, and then it's ended. True. And that's a lot better than the 2.5 weeks that it used to take before.
And especially back in the days, it was like double round robin, and it's changed into a single round robin, and now double elimination, so it's like getting the number of matches decreases season after season probably. And The top 4 will get money prizes. The first place, $3,500 US. Second place, $2,100 US. Third place, $700 US, and fourth place, $400 US. So all of these teams tonight will be looking to seal a place in the top 4 because they can earn some money. And the first place, you will earn quite a lot of money, $3,500 US. I think it's higher than the winter season, if I remember correctly, isn't it?
It is, but Wargaming has been investing little bits and pieces more into the tournament scene.
Very true indeed. And tonight, we'll start off with New Bay, Mine Ruins, and Rockfield. After that second game, Desert Sands, Within Mine, Northgate, Oasis Palms. Grand Final, Alpenstadt, Hellas, and Port Bay. It's group stage Grand Final. It's not that much of an importance as the first 2 games, but this game will decide which team will be ranked first and which team will be ranked second, and that will influence the seeding tomorrow. And today, it's going to be the group stage finals. Tomorrow will be the start of the final stage first round, where both Ari and I will be streaming that. Eminet and Fujit will be streaming the challenges instead.
Yes.
So all games will be covered, so don't worry about that. The schedule is as follows. In around 4 minutes, we'll hop into the room very quickly. The start of the upper bracket final, 51 minutes later, lower bracket final, and another 51 minutes later, grand final. Just going to flip through the teams very quickly. This is LOCA, this is BPS, and this is A1N1. You will see them in the second game. And here comes our prediction bot, Thomas Peterson, predicting the match we're going to be seeing tonight, BPS winning LOCA 3-1. Is it going to be the right result here? On the other hand, Serenity is predicted to win APA 3-2. So very interesting prediction by Thomas Peterson, but you would never know. That prediction bot jinxed Endgame yesterday pretty hard.
He says the bot, but he really means himself because he made the bot. Jack is still like the jinxer here.
Very true, but if you want me to continue doing something as sophisticated like that.
By the way, one question.
Yeah.
Gassio just made a guess. He is technically in the team, but the match that he's basically guessing for hasn't even started yet and won't start. Are we counting that guess?
Personally, I will because the main reason why I made it into to guess the second game instead of the first is because and to have the guess and before the start of the first game is to prevent players playing that match after coming onto stream, getting free battle passes. We don't allow that, so everyone is welcome to put their guesses here. So, right, so before we continue, donation methods are right here. If you just links, a lot of methods, but let's head into the room very quickly because we only have around 2 minutes left to go. Keep on guessing. I'll be announcing the end of the guessing very, very soon in around a minute and a half. So, looking at a lineup here on New Bay, both teams taking no mediums or lights. Very interesting stuff indeed.
It makes sense though for a map like New Bay. We've seen this happen more and more often. Usually the teams take one tank to run around and have that mobility, but in this case I've noticed more and more that with the E5s and the groundwalkers having that speed boost, people decide to go for the armor rather than the mobility standard, so to speak.
Yes, and New Bay is a map that is quite city, or I mean, it's a city anyway. I think it's modeled after New York City, and and there are lots of long and narrow lanes, and it's New York City, so there are lots of skyscrapers. So this is a close area, so expect a lot of very heavily armored tanks taken by both teams. But LOCA go with a lot of held down tanks, and also it's somewhat flat. So I'm interested to see how LOCA is going to make it work. Although like the northeastern side, you have those bridges that you can make use of. But interesting call by LOCA.
I think I kind of expect a hold down party between base B and C with these lineups. Because B and C, the bases are so close together, you can't really get away with neglecting them unless you want the other team to have an early base advantage. And with this lineup, with lacking the tanks to have run around, it makes sense that that is where the area of battle will be. I could, of course, be completely wrong, but still.
And stop guessing now. You'll hear it on the stream. I think it would have stopped. Like it would have. I mean, I don't know. I think the message would have come at that time. So don't worry.
Yeah.
New Bay it is with BPS on the red team. North spawn. LOCA blue team south spawn. Let's see where they're going to go. But I expect some action over to the 8 side. So let's see. BPS red team is going to commit their forces mostly to A with LOCA. On the other side, also doing something similar, but Foxtastic is going for C.
And we see that actually BPS is neglecting base B altogether. And to be fair, that is a surprise because, like I said, when it comes to supremacy matches, you need to dominate 2 bases at the very least. And that's not happening here.
Not yet. And LOCA getting a cap lead here means that BPS will need to do something more. But on the other hand, B is left open. Oh, F the Yogurt got shot a little bit already. A is now getting captured by BPS. That means BPS will get a cap lead sooner or well, sorry, will get a cap.
LOCA has cap lead. Yeah.
LOCA has a cap lead. BPS just need a kill to swing it back to their favor.
More than that, they know that the F has spotted. They know that he's alone. At this stage, they don't know that he's got any support left. Because base A was getting capped as well. So they don't know where BPS is. Except for the Kranenwagens now. No, sorry. It's only the F that is spotted by LOCA.
Yeah. And on the other hand, it's just going to be a stealth game at the moment. It's because both teams know mediums are light, so they have to gamble a little bit in terms of spawning up the tanks. I mean, at the moment, both Fantastic, Yasutastic, and Unit Judge being sported, but BPS need to find a way to rotate, and they have a lot of time to do so because both teams only have 1 cap, and the speed of which it increases will be relatively slow, so BPS can make use of this time to get some spots and make work from that.
Not just that, I think that Evil Fantasy is going for that B cap. I think they kind of need to. They need to get that advantage back. He only takes 1 shot going in there, so he's lucky with that.
Yes, that means BPS will get B and cap lead will go to Gravitas team, and that means LOCA. We need to make a move, but I like how they didn't really try to reset Evil Fantasy though, because I believe they know if they try to do that, BPS is going to put shots into those tanks getting isolated. Oh, but BPS already committing, getting aggressive, looking to shut down the Phoenix, and for Starsea by Venusaur, wow, crossing and get shot heavily.
But this is the thing, they know that that's going to happen. This was a risk BPS did not need to take, especially with them actually having the base. They're now shooting at Unit Punjaj rather than the targets that are right in front of them. They're not focus firing. This is very tricky gameplay.
I think BPS, that was very audacious, but now they're down by more than 2,000 hit points, so they have to absolutely find the tanks, and LOCA did really well in trying to make a counter push. Venusaur is now worse for wear, and he's going to be taken out by LOCA soon, and he's killed by Foxtastic, and F, the Yogurt's looking for the Phoenix, I think.
It's definitely heading towards LOCA's advantage, even with BPS having 2 bases and now also standing in base C. Unless BPS gets their focus fire back on, then it will be very tricky. We have Evil Fantasy who is now being set upon by Kranenwagen and E5, the F arriving at the back there. Playmaker is not looking too healthy. Evil Fantasy is almost gone. Foxtastic as well, but he needs to get taken out for that to work.
However, LOCA needs to hurry up because potentially BPS will get all 3 bases, and if they don't kill off the tanks quickly enough, BPS might be able to clutch it. With Playmaker down, time is running out for LOCA, but they have so many hit points, I believe it's not going to be a big problem for them.
Bases is not going to be enough in this case. The F, the armor from BPS is about to be taken out as well. He only has 129 HP left. And now it's just Kuma, and that's not going to be enough against 4 guns, no matter how many bases you have.
No, and Cuba from North, last man standing. It's going to be a poor focus for LOCA, and that means LOCA will get the first game, and I believe that push should not have happened. Probably
No,
the lack
it shouldn't have.
Yeah, because the lack of information probably hurt them, and maybe we'll see some more mobility in the next one.
The thing is that they should have really known that this was going to happen, that is where they would be. So I'm really surprised at BPS making that push, especially since they had the bases. They didn't need to make that push.
No, absolutely not. They are kind of playing with fire here. I believe they just want to get some more map control, but the lack of information really hurt them. And FGG here doing 0 damage there, that is really not something that is very desirable. And LOCA's 6 tanks doing more in 2k, absolutely wonderful. Really great hit point sharing right there. And awesome tanks killed all together there. So great job to LOCA. Commiserations to BPS with the first game.
Definitely. It will be interesting to see how BPS regroups after this, because this was not so much a game that LOCA won, but more a game that BPS lost, and it has a different psychological impact.
I agree with you there, and I believe BPS is trying to find their foothold, but it seems LOCA is starting well, so that could be important. Just going to see, about 30 seconds left. I have to actually solve a bit about the stream. There is kind of a framed FPS drop. I have to make sure I might close tabs, but we will see. If the next one, if it's lagging still, I will close some browser tabs, but we will see. BPS going with quintuple Kramwagens. That's octuple Kramwagens across the board. What do you think about BPS lineup there? That is really, really odd.
I would expect big aggression with this. I was wrong about the first thing. I mean, the thing is that it's a team game in this case, so regardless of lineup, people can go anywhere and everywhere. But when you have a lineup with this many Kranwagens and an AMX 50B as an extra clipper, I would kind of expect an aggressive gameplay somewhere. I'm just not sure where.
True. We saw that early on with RN. I think it's E7. With a lot of clipping tanks, but it really didn't work when the other team kind of uses a lot of super heavies and they just rush them and they just dominate with their armor and their hit point pool advantage they possess. Kranwagens have really low DPM, so I suppose BPS wants to play this one somewhat defensively at the start and start ambushing in the later stages, but we will see. They are getting C.
Of course they are. They're kind of like making it seem like they split their forces apart. But so far, it's only Evil Fantasy that is off on the side, so to speak.
Yes, and Evil Fantasy is now going even deeper with the F, taking some HE splashes. That's minimal. Nothing significant there, and LOCA with Unibid Josh might be going for B or maybe not. I'm not sure what he's trying to do, but at the moment LOCA without any hit caps.
This is tricky. I think they mainly just don't want to give away their position, that they're expecting an ambush somewhere. They're not sure where it comes from though. Evil Fantasy has been spotted.
Yeah, we got a very avid fan in the chat, Trapman, just going caps and cheering for LOCA. If you're supporting LOCA, type in the chat. If you're supporting BPS, also type in the chat. Show your support to both teams. I mean, why not? Both teams are really strong this season so far. We are seeing some hits exchanging between Evil Fantasy and Unibid Josh at the GQ, putting another shell into Unibid Josh. He does not want to lose too many hit points to the mouse though, or otherwise that will render mouse a little bit useless later on.
Yeah, but right now I think he's mainly just occupying them. With the Kranwagens in the middle, now we have Foxtastic moving in. Phoenix is being set upon. Unibid Josh is being set upon by the E5, and not sure where he's gone. Adgar is actually moving to the other side of the battle again.
Oh, Kuma dropped down. Lost around 200 damage. The hit points are now in LOCA though. I think they are looking for Playmaker's head. And the T125 is definitely looking to shut it down, but the bounce might be important, but Playmaker got taken out by Onya. Kuma is now down there. I think he might become a little bit useless for a while, but on the other hand, the F is going to be the focus for LOCA next. It's still really close call, 6-7 at the moment.
But this is the thing. The Phoenix has now been taken out. Kuma is not going
Yeah.
to survive long where he is. At this stage, he'll be happy if he gets all the 3 shots in, because that is very needed as well. But again, BPS is not really playing it carefully. There's a lot of things happening at the same time, but they're losing guns very quickly and HP very quickly. LOCA is playing more patiently, and it's paying off for them.
And also note that they have 6 guns left on the battlefield, but 3 of them are pretty low in hit points. And that is always very important when you have more guns on the battlefield. That means higher effective DPM. So LOCA did really well in the hit point push sharing department here. And maybe BPS, the focus fire, is lagging a little bit.
It is, but it's not so much the focus fire, it's more they're not together. They were quite
True.
spread out throughout the battle, and in this case, that's really not worked in their favor. Edgar, basically both of them, they can get hugged and they die.
Now GQ killed by Onya, that leaves Venusaur left standing. And I agree with you, because I was barely able to catch up with BPS, I think it has to do with them kind of spraying out a lot, and LOCA was a lot more consolidated, able to isolate and isolate tanks of Gravitas team one by one. And now LOCA's on the match point 2-0. Great games here, and we're seeing LOCA 6 tanks doing more than 2k with BPS. 4 tanks only doing more than 2k. BPS still needs to find their ground, but they haven't really found it just yet.
Don't get me wrong, I adore BPS, and I know they've got more in them than that we're seeing now.
True.
The BPS that we're seeing playing now seems a bit lost in a way.
Oh yeah, a bit confused as well, and especially when we are talking about lots of clipping tanks, teamwork is of utmost importance here. So especially Kramwagen's the DPM is very, very low. You really want to make use of your clip potential as much as possible. I mean you can go back and watch our end streamed against I believe is E7 in the first
Also,
game.
just want to point out, this was the second game, so the score for the giveaway is 14,693.
Yeah, true. Thank you for the clarification there.
Also, I'm
But
going
yes,
to ask you a question on Discord with regards to someone entering with multiple accounts.
Interesting. Because I got people asking me whether they can allocate the battle pass to the other account because they won the the giveaway on different streams.
To be fair, just enter with one in-game name per giveaway. You can, of course, win it for multiple accounts, but not during the same giveaway, I'd say. So
Yeah,
just
I'll
one
agree with you.
entry per giveaway.
Yeah.
So in that case, I'd say in this case, it's basically the guess that he made first that counts.
Yeah.
Okay, then that's the verdict, Mutsu.
Great. I'm not sure if my answer is clear enough, so I hope you can expand that on a little bit if it's not clear. But I have to change my overlay. But here we go.
Basically, the guy that entered with multiple accounts the only guess that counts is the first guess that he made.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah. Oh, my game crashed. Sorry.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
So
We're going
we
to go back very
see
soon.
2 Kranwagens, a T22, 4 E5s on LOCA's side versus an AMX 50B, 2 Kranwagens, a T22, and 3 E5s on BPS side. We are on main runes. There's a potential match point here for LOCA. If they win this match, then they are through to the upper bracket, and BPS would have to fight their way back through the lower bracket.
True.
We see some action at C. The T22s facing off against each other. Are you back yet?
I'm back fully,
Ah, good.
and FPS is still a little bit wonky, but I think it's better than the first game. Oh, F got blocked by Caseo Jones a little bit. Some miscommunication happening, but it's not that important. LOCA do not have tanks to shut it down, so don't worry. But BPS just going very aggressively. I think they are trying to apply pressure to the double T110E5 with Fantastic running away. Vanosaur is trying to pincer those T110E5s, and I think LOCA needs to make a move as soon as possible, trying to shut down Playmaker and Seas. But no, I think they're going for Vanosaur. This is descending into pandemonium.
That track shot is very vital at this stage because look at the HP just vanish basically. This is not working out as BPS intended.
No, especially when they're not focusing the same T110E5 at the same time. Playmaker also did, and that leaves you hanging on by a thread, but the hit points are still with BPS. Oh no, LOCA
Not
and
anymore.
Evil Fantasy.
The thing is here too,
Yeah.
BPS is quite spread out. If you want to make a concentrated push, you actually have to be concentrated. And in this case, they're still too spread out going into different directions.
I would say that I think there is some kind of miscommunication in focus fire. The T110U5s kind of drop, both of them dropped hit points and at similar rates. So if they focus on one single tank, that would have helped a little bit in terms of
Yes.
getting the focus right. With Kuma from North now dead, it's now 2 versus 4. Oh dear, BPS are in big trouble here, and
We already know it.
they know it
We
already.
always see the GGs. They know that this is going to end in LOCA's favor. I mean, unless they get like full magical ammo racks, which is just not going to happen mid-tournament.
No.
Then they have no chance.
And Yogurt is going to be consumed by Fantastic, and he wants to stay healthy at all times, obviously. So, well done to LOCA. They are through to the top 4, and they will be in the grand final.
Whereas BPS will have to fight their way back through A1N1 if they want to make it.
True, and LOCA, 5 tanks do more than 2k, BPS 4 tanks do more than 2k. I think that was a very aggressive push, audacious push. I think caught LOCA by surprise, but LOCA was totally prepared in this type of situation. They pushed onto the isolated Vanosaur and also dealt with the tanks trying to shut down the T110E5. So that is kind of a textbook response when you get rushed. You try and help your teammates and make a response as soon as possible. And well done to LOCA. BPS, they need to find their ground in the next game against A1N1. It's not going to be an easy opponent. We saw A1N1 yesterday. They can be really good. What do you think, Minette?
It's gonna be tricky. A1N1 has been very steady in their performance, and if BPS has a good round, then all bets are off. If they play like we just saw them, my money would be on A1N1.
Yeah, but I mean BPS, we have like CEST in the helm.
That is
Evil Fantasy, by the
very
way.
true. But that was the
And-
case against LOCA as well.
I mean, LOCA, they also have very experienced players as well, such as Foxy, which has been around for quite a long time, and like you have Lentium and a lot of other guys, like not just these 2 guys, a lot of people there are very experienced. I mean, kudos to LOCA, they are now in the top 4, so the grand finals is not as important as the games we're going to be seeing next, but BPS really want to do really well in the next one. They have to absolutely find out their problem. I believe it's pretty much. I don't think they are very focused as before. They were a lot focused, a lot more coordinated before. But today, as of now, I think there is kind of there are lapses in communication and focus fire from what we are seeing here.
Yeah.
Okay, so on the other hand, we'll see if there are results. I suppose it's kind of quick, and I don't think we will get any results just yet. So Serenity versus APA, they're still playing, obviously. And challenges, do we have results already? We'll find out soon.
Not yet between Quick and Veil, that is. And
Yep, they're still
Infinity
playing.
Force versus Raid is still going on as well. But these matches were pretty quickly. They were aggressive, so they didn't last long.
Yeah, they did last really long indeed, and that means let's look at the clock, shall we? The next game in 51 past, so we have around 26 minutes of waiting time. Oh my goodness me, that's a lot of time.
Always a pleasure. This is why I collect replays.
I got oh, I don't have a lot of replays though, but we'll see what we can do in this situation. I don't think anyone can. Actually, are you able to platoon there? Because you're in a different
Yeah.
account, if I remember.
I'm in my press account. I can play, but I only promise to play very, very badly.
I see. Well, actually, while we wait for another 20-something minutes, maybe we can actually talk about the season so far. I mean, the previous few tournaments. I mean, you've been streaming the EU server the second day for every single one, I think. What games do you think catch the attention of you the most? If you remember some games, obviously.
I like the games that are sort of like out of the box thinking, the
Right.
games with lineups that you don't really expect. That's one of the things, by the way, that I loved about NA last night as well. They picked tanks and combinations that you wouldn't really expect. I like it when teams do that. At the same time, especially during the Prove Your Skill tournaments, with the teams that we followed, basically you know that the matches that you see there aren't going to be all that serious. Because they don't need to show their trump card at all, because they're already safe in the top 8. They're just there to finish the matches.
Yeah, that's very true. But I mean, now a lot is at stake, and I mean, previous skill tournaments where not a lot of things are at stake. You can try a lot of different stuff, and sometimes we are in for some treat. I think I remember Elri got one game, 7 mouses versus 7 mouses, and that
Oh
was
my
a
God.
moment. That was a moment.
But that's kind of the thing. You get meme battles
Yeah.
at that time, and it's
True.
hilarious. And at the
Yeah.
same time, you're like, oh my god, why? So it's kind of a combination of despair and fun.
Do you think we will see some meme strategies in grand final though?
I don't think so. If anyone would have potentially done it, it would have been EG. But they're not there anymore. They've been kicked out.
Yeah, sadly so. Yesterday, and you can see it from the stream, they got knocked out by they got knocked out by Red Team 3-1, and they lost to APA 3-2 in the first game. So that was very unfortunate for Endgame. But Endgame was so dominant in previous skill tournaments this season, and I think there will be a lot of questions asked. How did Endgame fall that much in a span of a few days, basically? And maybe they just had a really bad day, just like 7-star. I remember in the Blitz CIS Cup. Everyone has that. No one is immune to that. But the best clans will always find a way to make a comeback. And look at where 7-star is. I think they won the winter season last time. And do you think Endgame could do the same once again in the summer season, or maybe once again representing the EU server for the Twister Cup?
I think they can do anything they set their minds to, but this will have been a big psychological blow as well. And it also depends on Wargaming. If Wargaming does not fix their seeding system, I think a lot of the old players will just not really bother with it, especially when summer season, like spring season and winter season, isn't nearly as big or as important as Twister. So then I can easily see people take a few months off to just prepare for autumn season instead.
I agree with you indeed, and we saw that already on the NA server last season, the winter season. Rain didn't participate at all, and same thing could happen for the summer season. Although I really want every team to participate in the summer season, because basically I have more time to stream. So that's my hope. Hopefully, we will see see all of you once again in the summer season, and it's summer, so it should be very fun and very exciting indeed. Don't you agree?
Definitely. To be fair, there will always be a lack of my participating as much as I would like to in winter and summer, because the tournaments just aren't as big, and as such they also feel less important. And like in this case, for me to do the streams that I'm doing this week, I have to take the whole week off because health-wise I can't cope otherwise. So
True.
it's costing me a lot, quite literally, to do this. So yes, if I was in good health, I'd be doing this all seasons, all year long, so to speak. As it is, I just have to prioritize, and then I prioritize spring and autumn. But again, it would also depend on whether or not Wargaming finally fixes the seeding issue and some of the other issues, because it's a joke now. The way that some of the clans got here, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I mean, early on today, you saw on the official server, a clan has around 10 players banned for account sharing, and
not sure if it's account sharing, just that they broke the rules. We don't know which rules, so we have to...
We will see, but they broke the rules, maybe not account sharing, but huge suspicion that was the case, but in the end, the clan was still allowed to participate in the professionals tournament still, so you're not going to see any changes just yet. We are seeing another result already on the Challengers tournament. That is IW 3-1 against Raid, and they are through to the grand final. It seems Thomas Peterson is once again starting out really terribly. If we can bring you what that bot is projecting. BPS against LOCA, completely wrong. LOCA got 3-0.
What did it have with Serenity versus APA?
We don't know yet, but
no. What did Thomas Peterson said?
3-2 for Serenity.
Yeah, it's 3-1 for APA.
What?
Yeah.
APA won.
APA won with 3-1.
Oh my goodness me.
Yeah.
Oh my. Thomas Peterson is jinxing everyone at the moment.
Yes.
I mean, Raid was predicted to win 3-1, and IW just lost. Just won against Raid 3-1. It was the other way round. What about Quick versus Vale? It will be complete if Quick won against Vale. That will be completely Thomas Peterson jinxing everyone in its path. Oh my goodness.
That's still not decided. So they're getting probably near the 4th or 5th game now.
Yeah. So, I'm afraid that my inbox is going to be bombarded by messages of rage very, very quickly to ask me to shut down Thomas Peterson, probably.
No. But to be fair, explain to me, how does the bot work? What does it take into account?
I mean, Thomas Peterson, the prediction bot takes into account all the games between, I think, the top 16 plus an extra 1 or 2 teams during the Proof of Skill tournament season. That's one of the factors considered, and also considers how well the team is doing in the map. And it also considers when the match was played. So for the matches played a long time ago, the weighting is less than the matches played more recently. Okay, so the prediction bots uses a complicated algorithm using a lot of different distributions, lots of stats stuff, to calculate the probability that a team is going to win, and that probability is then converted into the predicted scoreline you're seeing on the screen. I think I have everything. I think I have got everything that I want to say about the parameters that are considered, though. There is also a higher weighting for the clan performance history with the head-to-head results. So, for example, Serenity versus APA, their head-to-head matches, those would be considered with a higher rating in the calculation.
I think that's actually like also explains some of the jinxing because, like I said, in the second day of the previous skill tournaments,
Yeah.
teams tend to fool around a bit. Of course, they still play to win, but they fool around a bit more. And I think that will also affect the predictions that your bot makes because the end result isn't what you would expect if they were to seriously play against each other.
Very true indeed. So I'm not sure if Serenity got affected by it by a little bit, but by no means it was a close prediction there. It was Serenity 3-2. So basically the chances are like 50-50 in this situation, with Serenity having slightly higher percentage. So while you guys may be thinking I jinxed Serenity, the bot is actually saying that it's like near equal chance that both teams would win that match. So in the end, it's not quite far off in that one. But LOCA's one is an anomaly according to the bot. So this will change the algorithm quite a fair bit. So we will see if LOCA faces BPS once again. Is it going to be a different prediction? This is going to be interesting to see because before I got I forgot. I have to load because yeah, I got
Quick versus Phil, by the way, is 3-2 for Quick.
That was complete jinxing by Thomas Peterson. 0 out of 4 outcomes correct. So I don't know. Thomas Peterson is going to be set on fire tonight, but maybe Thomas Peterson is going to get the next few games right completely, so we never know. Madbox early on today got the first 2 games results pretty much guessed pretty well until the very last game where jinxed all 4 clans, all 4 supposedly winning clans. So you will never know.
I've said this before and I still mean it. I mean, I will always rip on you for jinxing everyone around you. At the same time, I really do appreciate all the time you put into these bots because it takes a hell of a lot of work to make this work as it is, especially for multiple servers and everything.
Yep, very true indeed. But it is what it is. I think someone will make a meme about Thomas Peterson tonight. Or maybe I will make a meme about that, but it is really not ideal. So while I'm going to change stuff up behind the scenes, we will be seeing what is it on the screen. Let's find out. It's going to be, this is the Challengers tournament. Vale will be facing Rackham in the lower bracket final. Raid against Kraken Esports in the lower bracket final. And if we switch over to the championship, to the professionals tournament, it is Serenity versus Rete, and the other group we are going to be following soon. It will be BPS versus A1M1. So anything could happen in the next one. It will be held in around 30 minutes. We still have, I mean, no, the room's going to be here in around 30 minutes, so we still have a lot of time left. I think Stain was supposed to ask, what is this season? This is the season of Thomas Peterson cursing everyone to oblivion.
Is this the season to be jinxed?
Yes. I mean, Thomas Peterson only got half of the outcomes right, and so far 0% correct. So that was kind of an achievement insofar. But I mean, to be honest with you, if we don't talk about the bot for a moment, do you think the results you're seeing are surprises?
I do.
I mean, I as well. APA win against Serenity. I mean, Serenity is definitely the stronger team here, but APA coming out on top. What on? I think they have improved a lot. So in the last few days, and I think it was pretty amazing to see. And at the moment, it really looks like APA is going to take the crown, but we will never know.
Yeah. I don't really know what to think at this stage. I think these results are surprising. Not
Yep.
necessarily LOCA's result, because in this case, it was if LOCA has a good day, then they can do anything they want. And same goes for BPS, and the BPS is not having a good day right now. But App and Serenity really did surprise me, because Serenity has been so incredibly strong. They've been the only ones to basically challenge EG until Appa kicked them out yesterday.
Right. I'm seeing on my screen here that a lot of people have. Someone has entered a lot of times. This is not good.
How many times does he actually want to win the Battle Pass? I mean, he already won one on my stream yesterday.
Yeah, so I don't know what to make of it. But this is yeah, I would say void it. Give some chances to other viewers.
Yeah, but just
here.
like, if you've already won, don't enter.
No, yeah, don't enter, because really I think we have a lot of better passes to give, but we should try to give the better passes to different individuals rather than the same individual over and over again. So hopefully, if you have won, please be generous and allow others to win. So thank you very much about that.
I just put a message in the chat as well, because, I mean, I get wanting to win, but if you've already won, it's you only get the one pass. Getting the pass multiple times doesn't give you anything extra.
Yeah, no, it won't give you anything extra unless you have multiple accounts, but I don't advise doing that as well, because that's just that's it's called stingy, but that's selfish, in my opinion. I'm sorry.
I have someone entering for himself and for his sons, but he is entering with just one account per giveaway. So, like, for instance, on my stream, he will enter with his own account. On another stream, he will enter with one of his son's accounts. And that, for me, is just perfectly fine. If you want to win for someone else, by all means, use their in-game name to make your guess. But only once per giveaway. One account per giveaway. That's all.
I agree with that. While I'll generate the next set of predictions for Thomas Peterson, more jinxing incoming. I think we're going to start the guessing very soon, but maybe not too early, because we still have a lot of time left to go.
Oh,
so what do you expect?
To be honest.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough, but what do you expect? I mean, I've asked this probably already. BPS versus A1M1. We start off with Desert Sands and then Wintermine, North Carolina versus Palms. Do you see any pattern in both teams' setup or both teams' lineup from what you observe?
I never remember the lineups for specific maps. I look at it battle to battle, so to speak. Also because I believe that most teams at this stage will have all kinds of different tactics for similar maps and everything. But in this case, I think it mainly depends on whether or not BPS has managed to regroup. If they have regrouped after the last match and they found their zen, so to speak, then they could do this. But otherwise, I think A1M1 will take it home.
For me, I'd say like A1M1. We saw it yesterday. They took they took almost no mediums or lights, and with maps, we are seeing it will be Desert Sands, Wintermine, North Carolina, which is Palms. All of these maps are quite open and exposed, so I think A1M1 would need to change their game plan. So otherwise, the tanks they're going to take might not be fitting their playstyle at all, and that could potentially give an advantage, an upper hand to BPS. And BPS, obviously, they are very versatile, so A1M1 to show their versatility, probably they need to change something up for these maps.
True. But the thing is, and basically I know that teams have stronger maps and weaker maps and everything.
Yeah.
The reason that I pretty much don't look at that kind of stuff is mainly because when you have a team, and regardless of what tanks they pick, they can technically make anything happen. I know that some of the best callers work instinctively, so they don't have really... They have like set tactics, but they don't really have a set plan for maps. It's kind of like they load in and they're just like, okay, we're going to do this or that. And I actually prefer that kind of gameplay because it makes it a lot less predictable. And over time, you've seen that the groups in the top 8 and especially top 4 generally have no set tactics. They basically sort of like go with the flow, and thus you always see them do different things. It's very rarely that you see a team do the same thing twice.
I agree with you on that. So I think A1N1, I mean, they are a top 8 team. Obviously, EU server, the standard is pretty high. I expect them to do something different from yesterday. And I mean, A1N1, when I first streamed them in the first previous skill tournament, they were not like that, what they played yesterday. So I have faith that they're going to show maybe a lot more aggressive gameplay, because that's what they did back then. I think we will be seeing something like that. And on the other hand, Thomas Peterson, hello.
Oh god. Who is he jinxing now?
Thomas Peterson is predicting Serenity to win against Red Teeth 3-1. BPS winning A1N1 3-1. Vale 3-2 against Reckham, and Raid 3-1 against Kraken Esports. Will Thomas Peterson get the results right this time? We will see, but fingers crossed. That means that I hope that doesn't mean Serenity, BPS, Vale, and Raid get knocked out.
Rather hope not, no. And that being said, the way that we've seen A1N1 play, they've been fantastic as well, and they do out of the box things, because their lineups are generally very heavy, and they don't do typically heavy things, and for me that makes them interesting to stream.
True. I'm seeing something from my chat. We say hello to everyone. Hello to Mutsu especially, and to Stain, Tompi from North, Cougar, Sponge, The Deal for Real, Privet. I hope I can pronounce your name, but I couldn't. Sorry. And also to Yasso. Hello to Aaron. Hello to Sabu. Hello to the old school dude. Hello to Trap Melon. And I would say, Cougar asked, does the outcome of Grand Final impact the next stage? Yes, it will. If I show you this slide here, final stage upper bracket first round seeding. The first of Group 1 will face the second of Group 2. And for the other game, it will be the first of Group 2 versus the second of Group 1. Obviously, it's not that much of importance when we talk about the top 4, because all of these 4 clans are very closely matched. So, in my opinion, I think Grand Final is more of a show match and a practice match rather than really trying to get an upper hand in the seeding. In my opinion, especially EU server, I suppose those top 4 clans would be very closely matched. So I don't see getting a particular position would mean we'll get into better seeding. I that's my opinion though.
Also, just want to correct you. It's Stain, not Stain.
Stain. Well, I mean, he wants a Stitchin or a Stinch, and I don't know, but like
No, he's a Dutchie. He's probably just being nice to you. I mean, if I ask any English-speaking person that doesn't know French to pronounce my name, I always end up with Joe, which isn't my name. But it's sort of like I let people get away with it because my real name is impronounceable to them.
Yeah. Mutsu's getting a little bit hurtful at the moment. Oh, actually, let's begin the guessing game.
Ooh, yeah.
How much damage will A1N1 do in the second game altogether? The message should be up already. Guess now. You have around 7 minutes to do so. Maybe around 12 minutes once I posted this message. So you have a lot of time to guess. So start guessing now, and I would say stop guessing right before the first game. So do it now, and yes, and good luck to all of you guys. And hopefully, if you have got Battle Pass already, don't guess again. This is
You can
to be
only
fair
do
about
one
this.
pass. If you want to enter on a different account, that's fine as well, but only one entry from you per giveaway.
Very true indeed. Thank you all for the number of viewers I'm getting so far. So I think I got at one point more than 70 viewers. So thank you
Nice.
very much for the for the amazing viewership so far. And I hope you don't get bored by our conversation. But I hope our conversation is not it's not too dull to listen to. But anyway.
We're having fun with it. That's the most important part.
Yeah, that's very important though. Tomorrow, let's talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'll be following the final stage first round, upper bracket first round, and then the lower bracket first round. Every's the same. Challengers will be followed by both Mnet and also Widget.
Yes, we will be commentating together. Basically, I think from here on out for the EU, we're all duos.
Yeah. Do you have any clan that you would like to see, or do you think is the front runner for the Challengers tournament?
I think it's tricky. I mean, there's a room. Back in the day, I would have basically guessed Raid, but that's no longer the case right now. They're not having their strongest season. So looking at the teams, I think the choice would be Infinity War.
Infinity War.
Yeah, of the members of the teams that are left, I find that Infinity War, the matches that I've seen from them in the previous skill tournaments, have been very entertaining and interesting. So, with that regard, I would say Infinity War. Other, of course, potential is Quick and Veil. Veil, we don't know yet if they'll make it, so it will be up to them to defend that.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it's not loaded team for Quick for me. The game is saying place is available. It's lovely.
Do you mean the Challengers teams?
Yeah.
I'll show you very quickly. It will be Recum, Quick, Veil, IW, Raid, and also Kraken Esports. I can remember them all.
No, I was mainly looking at the sets for the specific teams. It's loaded in now. And Quick does seem OP, but I've pretty much not heard of them. So my money right now would be on Infinity War.
Yes, I mean, Quick. This team you're seeing here, this is a pretty much a different team from the previous few seasons. I think they've recruited an entirely new team for this, because the previous team, I think there were lots of Russian players, so a lot of them would not be able to play for Quick, and I think they got a lot of Reckham second team to this. So in the end, the Quick team become a lot stronger. So that is why I think there is quite a big underestimation from Thomas Peterson as well, because it doesn't take into account player changes like that, and that is also the reason why you may see quite interesting results from different clans, basically. So I would also argue that Infinity War looks pretty strong. I mean, they were once Lux Novum, and I know these guys, they are really strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked Lux Novum at the time as well, because I like when a team is not like playing completely within the set boundaries that a lot of people play in, so to speak.
Yeah. And they also have Money Dude there, which is one of the best strategist and caller, I think, in the EU server. One of the best. Well, probably not amongst the best, but he is probably one of the very few that comes up your mind when we talk about the best callers and the strategists in this game. So I have faith in him. I'm very sure that he will bring IW to a very far stage. Hopefully they can win the entire thing, but you will never know. Reckham are currently struggling, and I hope they will have some good results against Vale, although I want Vale to go through because Bridget is there, I was once there, so, you know, bias.
Just a bit. But the thing is that I always feel that as streamer you are allowed to be a little bit biased. It shouldn't be like too obvious as, oh, I hate that clan, or oh, I only love this clan and no one else. But you can't help but be a little bit biased, depending on what's happened to them, how they've played before, the games that you have. If a team leaves a good impression with you, of course you're going to be a little bit biased. I had the same thing with Purple last night on NA. They played absolutely fantastically, and I'm really looking forward to seeing them play again.
Yeah.
I know that they have a very hard battle before them, because I'm starting it off with Rain versus Premo, and then the loser of that has to go against Purple. So they're pretty much, well, I wouldn't say doomed, but it's going to be very difficult for them. It is very tricky to win from either Rain or Premo.
Yeah. Oh,
But
I was seeing.
Exactly,
Sorry.
but I love Purple. So
Yeah, I mean, Purple.
yeah.
They have people from Naps from the winter season, so they are very, very strong indeed. And I feel very sorry for Mutsu dealing with all the stuff in the chats. I know it's a hard job, but you know, people get very excited. But already we're going to be seeing very soon A1M1 against BPS, first game of Desert Sands. We will find out soon. A1M1 taking a medium tank, but double mouse on Desert Sands, not something that I see often. What do you think?
Interesting lineup for sure. Double mouse on this map is tricky, especially when you have T22 and Vickers and lots of E5s on the other side. That makes for a very, very interesting gameplay, I think, because in this case, A1N1 is definitely going for a heavier side than BPS is.
Yes, and I think the mouse could only really go to B and C. A would be hard to play with because the terrain is very rugged, and you know, mouse, the kind of the terrain resistance is not that good. Kuma is running around and trying to get spots up, getting out of A, and trying to go back to the spawn. But some good information already obtained by BPS, but it seems A1M was going to get B very quickly with double mouse here.
Just very quickly, should you say stop now?
Oh yes,
As in,
stop.
stop guessing.
Sorry, stop guessing now.
Sorry.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for reminding. Thanks for reminding. I almost forgot that, you know.
Oh, it's not really a big thing yet. So the match that
Because-
they're getting for hasn't even begun yet.
Yeah, it's
But
the
now we have
second
the
game.
nice pushing into the desert,
Like,
quite aggressively.
Yeah. Oh, I feel for him though. But A1M1, would they have the response of BPS? They have done the exact same thing as LOCA, but A1M1, would they be able to counter the aggression here? Nake is going to go down very quickly, but Playmaker is getting eviscerated.
They're playing this so smartly, A1N1 I mean, because look at what they're doing. They're basically sacrificing Naker and getting a turkey shoot from the railway.
Yep. At the same time, despite taking out the T22 playmakers, also that's a credit to A1A1 on that. For really taking a tank out 1 out of 1. So now they have a very good hit point pool lead. Venusaur is going to go down very soon.
There he goes. And this is the thing, A1N1 absorbed that push. Their mice are already there right now, so they have the armor with them. It took them too long to take out that lone T22 while they were fully in the line of fire from A1N1.
Yeah, and they sent like almost everyone to go for that. When it's like one tank, you don't really need like all of your team to go there. Main problem is you will lose your map control and the enemies will pincer you hard. So that is what happened to BPS. The A1M1's heavy tanks are able to to pincer BPS, and now it's 4 vs 3 and hit points still with A1M1.
This is the thing, had they pushed more carefully, they could have still taken out Naker without losing half their team for it.
True indeed, and Didi Salas now very, very low, killed by an Akajiko. Actually, it's not over yet for A1M1, they could still lose here. Evil Fantasy,
There's
hang
full
on.
HP mouse though. They really need to
Which-
focus fire. Evil Fantasy
Yeah.
can't die, and that is exactly what's happened here. They're basically stuck in a corner. Kuma is a Vickers. He's very, very juicy for them.
True.
It can still happen, but it would be a little bit of a miracle if it did.
Yeah, but then also Mouse has really low DPM, but A1M1 got a cap compared to BPS.
Honestly-
none.
Right now, Kuma needs to run away. He needs to focus on the caps. The mouse
Yeah.
is stuck in the corner. He's not going anywhere. Let Kuma survive. If he dies, it will be. Well, now Mimo is actually shooting Edgar, which is working in BPS's favor.
Yeah. And look at them working in tandem. BPS looking to shut down Meebo, and Meebo, the problem is he's now stuck in the corner. The turret cheese, he needs to angle it up well. But I think they have multiple angles to work it. So which way Meebo is going to turn his turret, it's going to be just heat shells from BPS.
I'm actually really surprised that BPS managed to get this back. I
I'm
did
very
not think that
surprised.
they would, with the amount of HP that they lost so quickly, taking out that one T22. But here
Yeah.
we are.
Oh, cheeky shot from Kuma. I think he used HE shell. And look at Edgar killing off Meebo. That was a very weird start, to be honest with you.
It definitely was. I was not expecting this at all.
No, I wasn't. And A1M1 was in control for pretty much the entire game. Maybe their focus fire was off, and maybe that made the difference. And gradually, it means BPS got the lead gradually back. Because they looked very, very strong. The heavy tanks, it's like BPS, they're going to have a hard time penetrating those very heavily, those armor right here. But for some reason, BPS managed to isolate tanks well, and they have 3 tanks to 1, 3k with RPG kill, 3 kills more than 5k, A1M1, 4 tanks to 1, 2k. I think A1M1 played this one fine. They made the right response. They know what to do when Naked got rushed. They took 1 tank down as well at that point. So it wasn't that Naked did a bad job. It's just
No,
probably
he played his part perfectly. I think it's mainly maybe RNG and just pure luck on BPS's side that they managed to get it back.
Probably, but I'm not sure if it's luck. But I can say for sure, I think there must be something wrong with the focus fire in the middle, or maybe the lack of DPM is the main issue here, because they were taking like a lot of Esports and crown bargains, and you know the DPM could be a problem here. But anyway, let's move on to the next one, and it's
Just
so
one more
far.
thing. I think actually one of the reasons that it might not have worked is because BPS was pretty clustered together, and then it's also difficult to hit the target that you're actually aiming for.
Yeah, that's true though, but as I also said before, very clustered together also means you will get easily pincered. So back to the point is it's more like we will see how A1M1 is going to tackle this one, because I think it's very weird. I'm still figuring out the exact reason why A1M1 lost, but I think someone in the chat, if you are watching this game here, if you see what's going on in the first game, tell us in the chat below. What do you think caused BPS
did this
to
turn
win?
around? Yeah.
Yeah, what caused this turnaround? We'd love to hear your opinions on that.
And I think they've also they dubbed one of their weaknesses the double mouse, because they're now only taking one of them.
Yes. And now A1M1 is going to commit. Oh, very interesting call. Town, but they knocked down a palm tree towards the town side. So will BPS got that signal that the mediums are going into town? That could be important, but
I think they're guessing it, because otherwise F probably wouldn't be capping.
True, very true indeed, and that means Gravitas team will get the cap lead and start a great shot onto DD Sala in that T22. They absolutely know that A1M was sending those T22s into the city side, so it's going to be BPS that needs to make a response. It's going to be interesting.
It's going to be tricky, because now both teams have a base, but they also know that some of BPS's forces are still in town, so not everyone is in the deserts. So they can also know that they're not going to be pushed straight away.
Truly, but now A1M with a double T22 and now rotating backwards through their spawn. Maybe they're going back to the airplane rack, or maybe to try get a hand on Alimosa. Oh no!
Very tricky position.
Wait,
Maybe
I think
he crashed again.
He's crashed. Oh no, but in a very bad position. It's now down to 622. Oh dear.
This happened yesterday as well. Remember that on Rockfield?
Yeah. Well, I think it was another. I think it was Mimo, but I can't remember correctly. But that was very sad.
It was Animosa. in the AMX 50B driving.
Yeah, I remember he said AMX 50B, but he's now taken out. Can we press F for Elibos here?
Yeah, definitely. Prince now moving in. They don't really have a choice. They need to get their advantage somewhere else. Venezuela taking it.
I mean, last time you saw A1M1 springing to life when they lost, when they lost the tank, basically 6-7 if I remember correctly. But already BPS is making no mistake to rush Criminal. The focus on Criminal now is now 4 versus 1. Mimo is totally ignored, but you don't want to focus the mouse at this point.
This is tricky though, because they're using so many tanks on this side that they're actually going to lose some tanks on the other side if A1N1 is actually responding fast enough. Because they seem to be a bit slow there.
They are responding though. They're trying to take a playmaker, and Vanuso and Edgar GQ are now held down. It's still anyone's game at the moment. It's now 5 versus 6 with Gravitas a very solid hit point pool advantage where F is coming to support the double T125s. They can only hold for that long. They don't have the reactive armor, so that means they might not be able to buy enough time. And now it's Vanuso dead. Bebo also dead.
But it is a 5 versus 4 still in BPS's favor. And it will be kind of, I mean, I love BPS, but it will be kind of sad if they lost, because that is partly due to that crash.
Yeah, it is, and nothing you could do about that but to keep your heads high and march on, because internet connections, you can't control the internet, so things like that could happen from time to time. Might not be Wargaming's fault, but you would never know.
No, it can be anything really, but it's still sad when a team loses because of that.
I really hope that will tilt A1M1 here, because they really started well, and this one really they don't deserve to lose in this way.
Yeah, exactly. And BPS is now just cleaning up.
Yep,
with Komi taking the last kill. Yeah, exactly what Ali Mosley said.
Yeah. And I don't know if he will be switched out, but I think if the internet is unstable, we might see a substitution for A1M1. But BPS may really use this opportunity to advance their tanks forward, and now they are now on the match point. 4 tanks doing 1-2k, A1M1, 3 tanks doing 1-2k at the moment. So hopefully A1M1 is going to make a great comeback in the next one. And we've seen multiple times teams leading 2-0 only to get only to lose 3 consecutive games, so consecutive matches. So you would never know. A1M1 can make a big comeback here.
At the same time, the pressure is definitely on now, because we're moving to a different map, and it's basically match point for BPS here on out.
Yes, it is indeed. I got a ping, and alright, it's just someone asking me to change the in-game name to another one, so doesn't matter. It's not urgent stuff. I can solve that later on. So here we are. We have A1M1 going with triple German heavies. Comedy Naked, Double T125, DD Solid, Crown Bound, and Prince IS4. Gravitas team, we have Evil Fantasy, Zerd in the mouse, F and Kuma, Double T22, Playmaker Vano, and Edgar, Triple T125, Kami, and Crown.
That about sums it up.
Yes, and Ali Bosa will still play. I believe he's a caller, so I mean switching him up would be a call that I'm not sure if A1M1. I'm not sure about that. It could be DD calling, but I'm not totally sure. But Ali Bosa at least is back and back running, and we're heading into the 3rd match. Winter Mayanovka, it is.
To be fair, it might not help him, but I tend to restart my internet before big things. So I will have my roommate actually has the modem, as in she lives in the studio next to mine. I always ask her to like restart the internet throughout the tournament season a few times to make sure that that won't be an issue, because it always slows down after a while.
Yeah, I am. It's totally relatable for me, and I think yesterday on the NA stream I got some cuts with internet. In the end, it was due to a partial power cut, which I don't know how it got there, but I managed to get it back on. But the stream was a little bit bad in the sense. So BPS going to have double T20s getting A already, and A1M1 with none. But look at that, BPS 4 tanks stacking up, hiding behind C. I think they have an idea here.
They need to be careful though, because technically they have a gun advantage here, but they don't have a position advantage, so they have to be careful there.
We see this somewhat often with actually clippers. This is what I usually call spawn baiting strategy, but we will see. But all of these tanks are sported. Usually, spawn baiting tanks, they are going to get very aggressive suddenly. And I think seeing that, these 4 tanks are looking to shut down DD Sala. He's going to be in deep trouble.
They're leaving one of them behind though. Unless Edgar is now going to take a lot of damage. They're focusing the E5s in the middle, which makes sense.
Ooh,
but they they don't have a gun advantage here, so this is going to be very tricky for them.
But Akuma is trying his best to come in support, but also he took a hit from the Mouses. So this is going to be about focus fire once again. Venusaur's looking for Naked, but BPS is not focusing the tanks here. That could be a problem.
Big problem. They need to make sure that all the shots pen and that they take out guns at this stage. Otherwise, they're going to lose tanks as well. They've taken out 2. They're taken out... Playmaker is gone as well. DD is still alive, if barely.
Yep, and then A1M1 wasn't the best in focus as well. So kind of it cancels things out, and with Prince now dead, it's now 5 versus 2 near the windmill side. Criminal still toying around with Evil Fantasy. He's going to land a big shot probably, but it's so far away. The accuracy of E100 might not make the cut.
They make a game crash. Basically, there's more server issues going on because we already saw Comedy talk about it as well. It is not the game for, not the day for steady gaming on the EU server, apparently.
No, I mean, if you see my stream as well, the FPS is constantly below, like, 40. So
for me, it's actually fine, but I think that's... It's either, like, the fact that I'm not streaming myself, which saves a lot of my laptop, basically.
Bandwidth, yeah.
And, of course, I have CC hacks on my press account, so yeah.
Yes, that's very true. The Criminal is the last man standing. Evil Entity puts a great shell to Criminal, but Criminal... Oh, what's that shell?
HE shell.
Yeah, didn't kill off Evil Fantasy.
That's a shell that I would use on a mouse, to be honest. But there were definitely issues there as well.
True, and it's now 3-0 to BPS. It seems Wargaming wants us to, you know, spend a lot more time talking about stuff.
Oof, yeah. Which is like, I mean, when a team outplays another team, by all means, and I'm genuinely happy for BPS as well, but when you lose mainly due to internet issues and all of that, you don't wish that on anyone. And it's also,
no.
I mean, you're glad that you won, but at the same time, it's sort of bittersweet because it doesn't feel like a victory, so to speak.
Yeah, it's not like you've kind of won it fairly in a sense. Like,
yeah. They've not cheated in any way, but it doesn't feel fair. Exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like you have beaten the team.
You've earned it.
Yeah, you didn't. You haven't really earned it. You haven't beaten the team that is at its full form. So maybe BPS is feeling a little bit right now, and A1M1. I think big commiserations. I think they have gone far. They have proven themselves worthy of the top 8 positions. I mean, there were a lot of doubts whether they could survive the kind of the level of the top 8 teams there, but they are at a good standard. I don't think any of these games are lopsided. I think they're pretty much quite equally matched. And I mean, yeah, the scoreline 3-0 for BPS, but it doesn't say much, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I'm quickly checking to see if SNTY has the result yet, but not yet. But then again, these games, we had 3 games that were over in 9 minutes. That includes 4 minutes waiting time.
Very true.
No, wait, actually 20 minutes because it started at 50-ish. So, but still, it was very quick.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, because our games finish really quickly, if you want to have a watch on Eurovision, then go ahead. I think it has started, and our games won't start until 42 past. So absolutely, you'll be able to watch pretty much a lot of songs right here.
I
Oh
won't
my
be able
God.
to actually hear it though. I mean,
Yeah.
I can watch it, and actually Florida is there, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, Florida is there. That's just like the biggest news. That's
Oh my god!
yeah. It's very very cool. I really. I mean, there are concerns like he won't show up due to COVID restrictions, but he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely have to watch this later. I mean, I'm happy to stream tournaments and all, but this
Yeah.
is kind of like in my family, Eurovision is like a huge deal. So we always have like the family chat is
Yeah.
basically lit during
Oh.
these things, and we're talking about how off-key people are singing, how ridiculous the outfits are, and all of that. It's not that all positive, but it's really funny.
Yeah, we have results already. It seems Thomas Peterson is going to get his redemption because Serenity has won Reti 3-1.
Good. I mean, not for Ready, but I'm glad that Serenity is back because they've been so strong.
Very true.
I would have been shocked if they were knocked out as well today.
Yeah, but I mean, Reti also done really well this season. I think they got into top 8 at the very last day. At the very last day. And they've performed really well so far. I mean, they got some really close games against Endgame. They've even won some top 8. They even won some games against top 8 clans like BPS and so on. And I really like how they're doing at the moment. I know it's very challenging to compete with some of the best clans on the EU server, but they are on a steep learning curve. And I hope to see them back once again next season in a better shape.
Hopefully, yes, definitely.
On the other hand, Vale won against Rackham 3-0.
Oof.
Yeah, so that was Rackham 9th on the leaderboard, not in the final four, not part of the final 4 teams. So that was kind of frustrating for Rackham, but I mean, they also told me that they are probably not going to get most of their players playing in the previous skill tournaments to play in this one. That might have an effect on them, but I last checked, most of the players are still there, so I think this is a hugely disappointing result for them, but I hope they can come back once again because they've shown promise during the previous skill tournaments.
And on the other side, we see that Raid has won from Kraken S. So Raid and Infinity War are both through, and I'm happy with that. Not like it always sounds so mean when I say I'm happy for one team, because it doesn't mean that I'm like happy that Kraken S didn't go through. But Raid, it's just such a I'm not sure what the English term is, but in Dutch you would say like a settled name. That they've been so strong for so many seasons.
Yep.
That it would have been really weird to have them sort of like slip out or something. I'm not sure how to say it right in English.
Indeed, but looking at that, grand final Group 1 quick against Vale, IW vs Raid, so it's a rematch of the upper bracket final. So will Vale overturn the result and will Raid overturn their result here? And we also look at Thomas Peterson here.
More jinxing?
I think that, no, didn't jinx anyone, so all 4 outcomes predicted correctly. 2 correct scorelines, so please do not blame Thomas Peterson now, because at least didn't jinx any clan here, so...
Not put this at in any case.
Yeah, so I think it sometimes works really well and sometimes goes really off, and that's something really good about World of Tanks Blitz Esports. The matches are very unpredictable. You might think, based on the past results, this team is going to definitely win against that team. It it isn't always the case. You get teams which are very closely matched, and it also depends on your mentality. A couple of factors which cannot be assessed objectively through results of through results and so on. So I really like this kind of unpredictability, and that's something that makes me very excited for every single match in every season.
It's kind of the same for me. Like, I mean, I would never write a bot about it, but I like the fact when it's not predictable. There are so many factors that work towards a victory or a loss in this game.
Mm-hmm.
You have the basically just RNG. That's one of them. You have luck. You have skill. You have armor, positions, caps that you have, kills that you have. It is dependent on so many things. And to be fair, that's one of the things that just keeps me interested in this. Because for me, tournaments are still the pinnacle of gameplay. This is what happens if you have 7 players that actually communicate together and play to the fullest extent of their abilities.
I mean,
you don't get this in randoms. You hope for it, but you don't get it.
True, very true indeed. I mean, those games you see kind of really give you kind of a kick in adrenaline that could become like one of them, like could influence games. Sometimes I get that kick as well. So like, if you feel really down by playing random matches, whether you get a very, 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 very terrible matchmaking, go watch our streams. Get inspired. These games, I think tournament matches are the best thing to have graced this game. So why not? If you feel a little bit down, if you feel a little bit bored, watch our streams. Watch these best clans play against one another. I mean, you get to learn quite a lot from them, and also maybe you be inspired to create a new team and play in tournaments in the future.
Mutsi just asked if we're watching Eurovision while waiting for a match.
I can't though, because if I do, I would crash my internet basically, because you know it's also streamed live, and that will eat my bandwidth. So no, I won't do that. And the music is also copyrighted, so you know if I
that too.
if I watch Eurovision at the same time and also stream, it's my stream's going to be taken down. Yeah, so no, I'm not doing that.
To be fair, I have it playing on TV in the background, but it's like I can't listen to it with sound, so it's not the same thing. At most, I can sort of like comment on these very special dance moves that I see and the very special clothing that I see. That's about it.
I think it's called the Barbaradex Award for the with quotation marks worst dressed contestant in this contest. I remember.
Okay, I did not know this. It's actually something that Force Stitch said it's huge in the lens. It's only huge this year because we're hosting it.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's huge in our country. I don't think it's very huge in the United Kingdom, though. It's, not a lot of my roommates are very excited about Eurovision. I don't think any roommate is excited about Eurovision at all.
It's same here. The only reason that I usually watch it is because we just have so much fun with the family as a whole. Yeah. And the thing is that it's huge in Sweden, and my sister loves it, and I like it mainly for the family interaction. But I have 2 sisters in Sweden, so we rarely have moments where we do stuff all together, and that has just made this whole thing bigger. For us, at least.
True, and I think it's huge in Sweden because they export music like in every corner of the world. Like I think also artists as well. I mean, we have like Sarah Larsson, which is very hugely popular in pop music industry. And we have also the songwriters. I mean, in the Eurovision Song Contest, we have Sam Rino. The song is written by Swedish people. I mean, obviously, Swedish entries written by Swedish people. So you have kind of a lot of connections. I mean, Sweden, the music industry there is really, really large. So I'm not surprised that Eurovision is a huge thing there. I mean, their national final, the Melody Festival, is also very huge there as well.
Yeah.
And I like that show as well. It's a lot of great songs there.
My sister sometimes sends YouTube videos to the family chat about entries there that she really likes. And then someone else wins entirely, and she's like, I can't believe we're sending this in.
Oh yeah. We can talk about like Norwegian's entry. I mean, a lot of people would have liked Kaino's monument to be there instead of Tex. But I mean, credits to Tex, because Tex he got a very tough story. I mean, I think he got bullied for his Tourette syndrome, if I remember correctly. So yeah, and
to be fair,
yeah.
This is something that always annoys me about Eurovision. Oh, it's not political, it's just about the music. It's never just about the music. When you have a good proper sob story, and it doesn't mean that it's not sad, by the way. I'm not attacking any specific story here. But generally, it's the people with a good sob story that get a lot of votes. And then I'm like, that's not about the music. Then you're voting for the story behind someone. Not even behind the song, but behind someone.
Yeah. I mean, also to say another great backstory there. I think he is a refugee when he came to Sweden, like when he was very, very small, from Democratic Republic of Congo, and now he's there representing Sweden. I think that story is really hugely inspiring for me.
It definitely is, and I'm glad they made it this far. But when they say Eurovision is about the music, I think that's total BS, because it's just really not. It's about all kinds of factors, and music is just a part of it.
True. I mean, I love a lot of different kinds of music. I mean, in particular pop music, which not the very popular one, not the very popular ones though. But I mean, kind of music is kind of part of my daily life, basically. So. So, well,
in the
I mean,
meantime, we've talked about for like 20 minutes about Eurovision. On a Blitz tournament.
I don't know if it's going to gain a lot of dislikes about that, but hopefully not. I
hope not, but it's actually kind of fun to reminisce about it, because I do like the song contest as well.
I like it as well, and I'm sure we will dash off to watch the remaining part when our grand final games finish, but we will see.
Yes. We still have like 20 minutes left before we get the next match, right?
Yes, it is, and it will be once again LOCA versus BPS. I mean, looking at BPS, interesting, because BPS they got their redemption against A1M1. Do you think they will be back with a sweet revenge?
I'm not sure, because in this stage, they're both through to the grand final stage, so to speak, the next double elimination. Yep. So I would expect both teams to play a bit more relaxed, a bit less die-hard, because there's just a lot less riding on it.
Yep.
The only thing that this apparently gives is your next opponent, and you don't know who that's going to be. It only depends on the results of the other teams, so there's no reason to die hard it, except for if you want to go against who you expect to be the loser of the other group.
True indeed, and I don't think they can really predict it, because those games are happening at the same time. So I agree with you. I think this game is going to ease a lot of pressure from them, and I hope they are going to make use of this opportunity to train their squad, communication, focus fire, maybe try something new. I think this is a good opportunity to do so, because if you can have a lot of different strategies in at your disposal, that means you can become a lot more unpredictable in a sort of way. That you have a lot of things that you could try, and you have experience with that, so you're not going to be going with just one type of strategy. You're going with a kaleidoscope of strategies, so hopefully we're going to see some exciting stuff.
Also to keep in mind is that it doesn't even matter who you spawn against tomorrow, so to speak, because that is a double elimination thing as well. So you have the opportunity to to just if you lose tomorrow versus the team that you start against, you still have a chance to make it back again.
Yeah.
Wait, do you know this? Because I actually haven't checked. I need to check that.
What?
With the tournament tomorrow, are there 2 different matches happening at the same time?
Yes, it is. In the first upper bracket first round. Sorry, upper bracket first round. There are 2 matches happening at the same time.
Okay, and after that, it's separate again.
After that, it is just only 1 match happening at the same time. So the lower bracket first round, it will be only that game happening, but the upper bracket first round, 2 games happening at the same time.
I sincerely hope that they change this format for the next season as well, because now, basically, I'm assuming that you and Peter will be streaming 2 different games then tomorrow, first round.
I would say so.
And only commentating together after that. But there's a lot of things that it would be a lot easier if there were just singular matches then, because then we could actually push streamers to the challenges as well. I mean, I'm streaming challenges tomorrow together with Fujit, but that's going to have the same issue. So I'm actually, we need to, Dee and I need to talk about how we're going to do that. Because it's a little bit frustrating as a streamer, because for me, the match that is happening now and the first match that is happening tomorrow technically wouldn't have to take place.
Yes. Sorry, I got lost a little bit. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no worries. It's a little bit frustrating for me. I think the format can massively be improved upon. If you want to have a bit of an effective format that also just allows us streamers to do more, because it makes sense to want to co-commentate because when you die harding this many streams, having to do all the talking on your own is really tiresome and takes a lot out of you. It's a lot easier and more comfortable to do it together with someone.
I mean, that's one thing, is one part of the one advantage with co-commentating is that you can kind of relax and chat with the other commentator and just have a great general chat like what we did with Eurovision.
Yeah, so you just basically you don't adapt to Eurovision for the win, but you don't have to die hard talk the whole way through.
Yeah, you don't have to. Yeah, that's true. But also, you kind of have more control on your own when you do solo commentary. So there is like advantages about both co-commentary and also solo commentary, and it really depends on which one you like the most.
But wait, you need to make people guess again.
Yes, obviously, but the games won't happen in around like more than 10 minutes, so we still have some time. We can, chill for a little bit. I think the games will happen in 42 past, so that's like still like 14 minutes remaining. On the other hand, Thomas Peterson.
Oh dear.
Let's welcome this back.
Who has a jinx now?
Previously, I mean, all the games. I think all the upper bracket final games, they are the same. I mean, as the grand final games. Previously, Thomas Peterson got Serenity 3-2 against APA, BPS 3-1 against LOCA, Veil 3-1 against Quick, and Raid 3-1 against IW. Will we see changes? So this is going to be the new prediction now. Serenity will still be winning APA 3-2, but BPS will win against LOCA 3-2. LOCA winning one more game here, but we are seeing an overturning of results. It's instead Quick winning against Veil 3-2 instead of Veil. Interesting call there. And Raid winning IW 3-2. So all of these games will be into a tiebreaker. So Thomas Peterson is basically saying all of these clans, any of the clan here has a shot in winning it. And it's like 50-50% chance for both teams.
Well, the bot is making it easy. I no longer want to jinx people. I'm just going to say they're evenly matched.
They're evenly matched, and I agree with the bot here. I think all the teams here are evenly matched, and I do not think it's going to be. It's hard to predict anyway. And if I if anyone makes like 3 new predictions, and I think you get smacked by the other team. I don't believe we will see another 3-0 like what we saw with LOCA against BPS. I think we're going to be seeing something different here.
Yeah, it could be, but like I said, I'm no longer expecting like super serious gameplay at this stage. Definitely play to win, because this is the best training that they can get. But less, this is our best tactic, and more, this could work, so to speak.
Okay, so next one we will guess LOCA. Oh, thank you very much for Mutsu for really great spreadsheet right there. That was very clear. So amazing job right here. And yeah, it's really clear then that we can see the winners. I like the remarks. BP order.
That's the guy that's ended so many times and has won multiple times. It's stupid.
Oh yeah. So the next one. Start guessing now. Sorry for the voice crack. How much damage will LOCA do in the second game? Get your answers in. We will close it in around 12 minutes. And maybe 17 minutes if you saw the message already there. We're getting ping. I'm getting ping on my server.
Yeah, that's about a tiebreaker. A tie.
Yeah, 4 part. Oh, a tie. Yes, I think we should give. Yeah, we should give 4 passes then, and only 3 this time. Then.
That works then. Yeah,
that works. Yeah.
Just to explain it to the people on stream, 2 people made the same guess. We're equally away from the same thing, so that is why we're giving away 3 passes now rather than 4. That being said, though, I think that also means that people cannot make the same guess as someone else. Then, in that case, the first guess wins. So if I guess 10,000 and you guess 10,000. And I posted first, then my 10,000 will win and yours won't, basically.
Fair indeed. Let's look at it. LOCA, I'm going to post a prediction that Thomas Peterson made on my server. I hope Vale would not hate me for saying they will lose against Quake. But that is what Thomas Peterson said. So. Don't blame me, blame Thomas. As always.
No, I will always blame you, don't worry.
Oh, Stanky is Stanky or no? I mean, Stein is saying Thomas Peterson is I am inevitable. With the Thanos gift here. That's really accurate. Jinxed endgame, almost jinxed Serenity. Luckily, Serenity is immune in the lower bracket first final. So, the top 4 for the EU server is going to be Serenity, APA, LOCA, and BPS. So, looking at these 4 teams, which clan do you think has the biggest shot in winning the entire thing for the EU server this season?
Serenity. I mean, I don't know what happened earlier today.
Yep.
But based on previous experience and what I've seen previously and the way that they were the only clan to effectively challenge EG, I would say Serenity.
But let's not write off LOCA as well, because LOCA also
definitely
won
not.
2-0 against Endgame in, I think, the 3rd previous skill tournament. That was very amazing stuff right here. And it was very convincing stuff from LOCA as well, where they just used counter strats, and it worked perfectly well for LOCA. And LOCA 3-0 against BPS, that is a statement right here, that they can be really strong and able to punish whichever team is not concentrated in their games. So I could absolutely say LOCA and Serenity, these 2 teams are going to be very closely matched. But we cannot ignore APA here, because they have already won against Endgame 3-2, Serenity 3-1. I think they can be a dark horse, in my opinion.
They can be, yeah. I think that that's also, like, we have to take into account that APA so far has knocked out EG, almost knocked out Serenity as well. And I think they might have found a tactic that works against EG, which means that it also works against Serenity because they were similar.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, and this is my guess, I have not seen the matches still, so I don't know, but I think that would be pure aggression.
Yes, but also endgame Serenity, I think they have a lot of experience getting rushed at the start as well. So I don't know. Maybe APA just managed to. I think both endgame and Serenity. I think the common thing I'm seeing for these two teams is that they're very tactical. They're not afraid to branch out and try to cover different areas. And this is kind of typical for the EU meta, where we really love to get tanks into positions to overlook at different areas to get information for the team. But that inevitably would spread your team out, thin, and that could mean your tanks would get isolated in some situations. Maybe APA did a counter to that EU meta and was able to kind of render these kind of tanks going for different spots somewhat useless. But also, I mean, it could be completely different things. I have to rewatch the streams, and hopefully Avery's going to tell me more about APA in tomorrow's stream, and I'll be happy to know. The secret ingredient to APA success, and I think also their attitude as well. It's like it's quite obvious. Like they are not flustered at all. Like they don't really care what people think. To be honest with you, whether in a good way or in a bad way. But this can be their forte here, where they just try their best, absolute best, and just dig in and do absolutely as well as they could and grind the result of that. Maybe this is something that other teams are trying to get from APA as well.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I'm honestly curious to see them play.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see. Feat to kick out EG.
I totally agree on that, but at least AP will get the monetary prizes, so that's at least good for them. They will get at least $400 US. The match is up. The room is up. I mean, so five more minutes of guessing. We're on Alberstadt.
Interesting map. We've not seen it much so far. I always find this map hard to read because depending on the team, they have such preferences for specific sites. But then you also have sort of like the reactionary teams that are guessing where the enemy is going and are basing their tactic around that.
At the same time here, this is the map that is going to be the tiebreaker map for the Challengers tournament in the grand finals as well. So that's kind of the app algorithm for you. But as I mentioned quite a lot of times, the North Spawn is inherently better when you talk about getting caps at the start. But when you talk about maybe rotation, positioning wise, I don't think both sides are that much of a difference apart from the northwestern side, northwestern corner. So it will be interesting to see, but I think the south side, if you try to use the south side strategy, you'll be expecting to at least make a rotation. Maybe this is what BPS might be doing later on in the game.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. This is like, I'm always finding it very difficult to predict where people will go, because anything is possible.
Yeah, anything is possible, and north side, either side is good. I don't think there is a particular side that is not as good as the other. The south side, I would prefer the southeastern corner decisions to hold down on the other side. That's kind of from my experience, which means I rarely go to the northwestern corner in the medium, actually, when I play random matches. I'm not sure about you though. Where do you usually go in the medium, or like when you're on the south side of Alberstadt? I lost you, sorry. I'll rejoin. So we'll connect once again.
Can you hear me now?
Great, we're back. We're back.
Good.
Sorry.
I was to
said-
say that I go to the northeast corner, so I do exactly what you say you won't do.
Oh no, I mean from the south side. From the
Yeah,
south side.
from either side, to be honest. It kind of depends on where I spawn. But if I'm
Right.
in a light or a med, I tend to want to go to that corner, regardless of which side I spawn on.
Interesting, interesting. Because what I usually do, I go middle, get spots, maybe run away to join, link up with the heavies, or maybe stay somewhere in the middle to get hold down positions, or maybe I just go to the southeastern side to flank. I don't know, because that's kind of what I usually do in the medium tank. But everyone is different in how they approach this one, and you only have 1 minute left to guess the damage that is going to be put out in the second game of LOCA, if I remember correctly. It's a BPS.
Yeah, second
LOCA,
game LOCA, you said. Yeah.
Yes. Didn't get it wrong. Nice. And Gaseo Joe's entered again. Did he win last time?
I don't think he did, but you didn't announce any winners, so I can't blame them for not knowing.
Oh yes. Actually, he has. He's really close in the difference though, so I assume he won.
Let me see.
From the spreadsheet I'm seeing, he seems to have won. And the BP holder is like nowhere near.
Oh no, he did.
Yeah. It's nowhere near like the lowest net difference here. So.
Oh. In the meantime, we see BPS ready with 2 IS4s, 2 T22s, 2 Kranwagens and AMX 50B versus 8 figures, 2 E5s and 4 Kranwagens. I would expect some aggressive gameplay on LOCA side here with this lineup.
Oh yeah, quadruple Kranwagens, or maybe not. It looks like a boom strategy here. If I remember correctly, LOCA is on the south side, isn't it? I have to double check.
I'm never good at that either, to be honest. This is the kind of stuff
me
you
too.
ask it and I've already forgotten.
Same.
Don't forget to say the magic words though with regard to the guessing game.
Stop guessing now. And then look, it's on the north side, so I thought, like this kind of setup, I was thinking they are going to do something that is reminiscent of a late game push or something like that, because with that many clippers, just finding an isolated tank and killing them off could be very deadly indeed. Let's follow for stacks for a little bit. Couldn't spot the T22s though. Interesting call. What do you see from the BPS side here?
And from the BPS side, we have the T22s coming into the corner. We have some tanks in the ditch and some tanks near base B. I think the Kranwagens from LOCA have already used the speed boost. So if they wanted to rush those T22s, that's not going to happen for a while just yet. They are definitely taking base A positions though.
I don't think they can rush the T22s. They are mediums at the end of the day, so they will just run away very quickly if LOCA decides to do so, and the IS4 could just push up and maybe deal with the rush a little bit. But look at Vanosaur, sneaky cap on B. I think he will get it, actually. That means LOCA sorry, BPS will get a cap lead.
And that's the most tricky base to get. But he has to be careful now, because look at this. Kranwagens versus each other. Venusaur has to be careful not to lose a whole lot of HP for this.
Unit with Josh as well. He got shot by Venusaur. He may be able to land another shell, just waiting for his second shell to reload. So, trading wise, it seems LOCA is at the top of the game at the moment.
I wonder who's going to go and try and get C, I mean.
It seems to be... Sorry, it seems Venusaur might be doing that. Maybe they're not doing that because they have cap lead. They do not have to risk trying to get into C. But obviously, good idea if you can get C. That will apply a lot of pressure to LOCA. But if you think you're going to lose a lot of hit points, it's okay. You don't have to do it. You don't have to do it.
They do not know that half of LOCA's forces are in wait there, though. Last time they saw them, they were still behind base A.
Yeah.
Edgar did get spotted, though.
True. I think BPS is playing with a grain of salt here, and I think this is a very, very good call for BPS. They do not want to lose unnecessary hit points. We'll see. Edgar's still like toying around with C, like very hesitant if we're going to go for C or not.
No,
but I think he knows the answer now.
He's flipping Unifin Josh.
Yes,
He did take some damage for it though.
True.
And we have all of LOCA rotating around.
Oh, I think disaster is going to happen. I don't know which team is going to be the disaster here, but I think a lot of things will happen very quickly. Edgar's in it, with Vanu sorting a lot of hits there, and hit points are now in favor of LOCA.
Is driving very questionably, and it cost him his life. There were two instances now where I'm really wondering why he was driving that way. And Edgar is not going to survive another reload either.
No, he isn't. Now, 5 versus 7 for BPS. I think BPS struggling to hold on to the ferocity of LOCA right now. LOCA looking very, very dominant at the moment. The T22s are stuck, and that is going to give even more advantage to LOCA at the moment here. I think T22s need to run away and try their best to find to flank Evil Fantasy with Ram onto someone from North here, though.
The thing is, this game started to fall with Venusaur going down that roadway in the city and taking those hits. It's from then on that LOCA started to regroup differently and started to guess what BPS was going to do, and they responded beautifully to that, taking out BPS's weakness.
And I mean, Akajiki also lost a lot of hit points trying to put shots into Univin Charge. That's also a factor as well. LOCA just mopping up the pieces, and it's a very dominant win once again for LOCA. Kuma from North dead, Komi dead, and it's nothing much Gravitas team could do despite Utea on an Amarak.
And Fantastic gets the last kill.
Yep.
At exactly 1k points as well.
Wait. We have enough people joining, right? I mean, participating, right? It seems to say not a lot of people are joining this.
No, there's been a bunch.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So looking at the damage, we have 5 tanks doing more than 2k for LOCA, only 2 tanks doing more than 2k for BPS. Everything went south when Venusaur and Akajiki got rushed, and that was a good call from LOCA. And BPS weren't prepared for that, I would say.
It was a very much a we smell weakness, we're going to pounce from LOCA's side.
And that's a well-calculated push. I don't think there is anything much to say apart from that was just ruthless indeed. And it's now 1-0 for LOCA.
And again, I just want to point out that at this stage, it doesn't matter who wins this matchup. They're both through to the next phase. So, though there's pressure for this matchup on its own, there's no actual pressure for the matches themselves, so to speak.
Yes, I agree with that. Sorry, just checking something up, updating something, but we are back. Second game of the open start. STB won, taken by BPS, by the F. We don't see that tank off to great, how down, but DPM is a bit low, mobility is a bit on the low side as a medium tank. So I'm interested to see how BPS is going to work with that STB1 LOCA, going very heavy this time. Double mouse. Interesting call.
We'd expect the STB and the Vickers to work closely together on this one, mainly because the STB can't roll on its own, it will need help. But it can work wonderful positions on this map.
I agree with that, and we will see how it's going to be done. But STB1 also be reminded that the view range got nerfed.
It did. When?
I think a few updates ago. I think from 270 meters now to 265, 260. So I remember it got nerfed, and it's not the same tank as it was used to be.
At the same time, if you can use the spotting range from the Vickers, and then the gun depression and a little bit of turret armor from the STB, they can work wonders together.
Yep, and Kuma is in that bush. I'm just going to get aggressive and try to get A but I'm not sure. He might be in trouble. He's going to get into this outer half of the circle here, but I think he senses trouble. He's going to run away, but he got pushed by Edgar.
Quite literally so. But look at where the F is, though. That is a very tricky position to have, but he's basically still getting... in this case, it didn't do any damage, but he was still getting shots in there.
Yeah, I can see it from my perspective. He has shots here. He's held down nicely there, and he could put shots into Crown Vargas, but the Crown Vargas from LOCA did really well to hide. Not taking any hits at the moment. F is struggling, actually. They know F could farm if they are not careful enough.
And now we have base B that has been kept. We have the F now focusing on base B side instead. And basically they can't afford to let LOCA get that many points.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's now going to be BPS that needs to make a move as soon as possible. Double mounted to B. I didn't catch that. It was a steal there, and that means BPS, or for Stastic though, I think he's horrendously isolated. If BPS decides to rush for Stastic, he will be the first take down. The Gravitas team, they also are down by lots of hit points, so they have to kill for Stastic as soon as possible.
But so far that is Vickers versus Vickers, and there he goes. But they've lost a lot of HP. LOCA has like a 3k advantage over them, and that's going to be very tricky as well.
Komi's doing his best to hold as long as he could, but he's just going out of this. He's trying to link up with Gaseo Jones onto UT. I think that was a good call, and UT is horrendously isolated, and I think BPS do not want to send too many tanks onto UT, because on the other hand, I think Edgar GQ is receiving the push from LOCA as well, so BPS is playing on a tight rope here.
They have to preserve all the HP that they can, survive for as long as they can. They need to get the bases back. They need to keep the tanks alive. BPS has a very tough job here.
With Edgar GQ down, Evil Fantasy also dead. It's now 5 versus 5. The hit points suddenly it's now neck and neck, so it's still anyone's game. BPS has done really well to find isolated tanks of LOCA. Someone from North is now isolated by BPS. BPS is now making an unlikely comeback here. With just only one shot, will do the job. And Komi needs to finish someone from North, and he does. Oh my goodness me.
You need to be careful of those Crown Vargas though, because the F is not in a good position here.
Oh no, he isn't. He's still held down. But Hello, I'm James could clip this tank out. He needs to wait for Gaseo Jones. And he's coming in to punish Hello, I'm James. Because Hello, I'm James is not a supporter of Gaseo Jones. So he wants Hello, I'm James out. But Kuma is the one doing the job.
There are only 3 guns left. They could potentially have this. Oh, that miss.
Oh, didn't catch that.
Still takes out the STB. But this... There was a shot that did not connect, and that made all the difference here. Now, though, Kuma has to be very careful, but he takes it.
Oh my
and
goodness.
now it's beautiful, Josh, and BPS has this match against all odds, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I'm just joking about Gaseo Jones. I don't think he hates Hello, I'm James, but you know, just... at the moment, you want tanks out, so this is what he feels at the moment, probably. So, Gravitas team, well done. I think... everything went south. Hello, I think the Vickers light just got a little bit too far forward, and BPS found a weak link there and then pushed on, continuing with the E5. Great job for them. They didn't commit everything to get one tank out, unlike what they did against A1M1 and also LOCA, whatever game it is. So they've definitely learned from their mistakes here, and definitely they've played a lot better when they control their numbers right.
And the score for the second giveaway is 15,031.
Ooh. We will see who has won this one, though. That was quite a good number. Almost 50,000, so... almost. Really almost. We are now on to Hellas. I found this map quite strange. Yeah, I found this map quite strange, though. The map is quite open. It's quite exposed. But weirdly, you don't find a lot of mediums or lights. Quite the opposite. You find a lot of heavies and just only like one medium light. Sometimes without any of that.
I think that's basically just to do with the positions of the bases. because like with a few other maps, you have base A and B that are close together. You can dominate that side of the map altogether if you hold it, and that's easier done with heavies than with meds.
Interesting opinion by Ferhat saying BPS must take a heavy tank against LOCA's fast attacks. They're actually taking 6 heavies though. While LOCA is having a big change in their playstyle, taking no mediums or lights, this is what I'm talking about. So you'll be expecting LOCA to hold both A and B, and Gravitas team maybe be playing some on C. But the problem
I think that that's what they want to do. I'm not saying they're going to get away with it. I think that's their original idea. I think the T22 is going to go towards C, not necessarily in it, but towards that direction, to see if anyone is there. And depending on that, I expect BPS to decide what to do.
Yes, I think it's all about reading the minds of the other team. Problem without a medium light tank though. If BPS got C, and if LOCA decides to send most of their tanks near A or B, that C cap could become really, really important though. It will take a long way to go from A and B onto C, so I think this is what probably LOCA is sending some tanks to prevent BPS from getting a free C cap.
This is also why I think DF is going exactly where he's going right now, because all he needs to do is know that there are people there. The fact that he spotted quite a few of them, 5 of the 7, that means that BPS now knows that they have the upper hand at A. They're not using that though, because most of their tanks are also at base C, in the C area.
Yep. And let's get back up high. A's now captured, B's now captured. LOCA with a cap lead and a slight hit point pool lead, but that's negligible because only 1 shot would mean BPS will get the cap hit point pool lead back. BPS is however defending though, but it doesn't matter at this point because both teams with only 1 cap. C is heavily it's under heavy scrutiny here, so none of the teams are able to get C. So they're going to work out where the tanks are, and maybe they will make a rotation at a later time.
And this is interesting. We have a IS-4 versus Kranwagen battle, but Evil Fantasy can't really pull back because there will be guns trained at his location. You see those E5s looking at him. So he has to be very careful not to pull back any further than he is now, or he's going to lose a lot of health. Look at that. You saw the trace line just missing him.
Yeah, I think Gasayages got away with that. But I think LOCA, they know. I don't know. I feel a bit worried about LOCA here. Basically, they are severed. They have 4 tanks near B, 3 tanks near C, but they are quite a distance away.
Look at what F is doing though.
Yeah.
He is going towards base B. He has been spotted. But no one's actually paying attention to him.
Oh, but I think him trying to get B has elicited a response from Eurovision to try and chase F out. What will BPS do on the R side though? They are now going aggressive.
They are pushing. I think they were hoping for more of a reaction from BPS on the...
Oh, the Phoenix though. The Phoenix, now the focus for BPS. I think he's going to go down very, very quickly with Evil Fantasy, killing off the Phoenix. It was Venusaur, by the way. And Gaseo and Akaji kill 2 versus 2 against double T110E5s. It is going to be a brawl fest, and it's a cluster F right now. You're seeing.
Yeah, pretty much. But they need to make all their shots count. The F basically has meant that you have Unipinchars now capping base A, but that's not going to be enough if they lose all their guns over here. Leaving someone to cap somewhere is very tricky, but right now, basically the focus fire needs to be on point for BPS to carry this home.
True, but the F, I think he needs to probably go and take a look at the caps, but look at Ventosa getting taken out here. But time is running short. LOCA has 2 caps, more than 700 cap points, hit points in favor of BPS, but not by a lot though. So if BPS are unable to kill off the tanks quickly enough with the F
that shot by Ute.
Yes, that was a great shot here. I think
that was
BPS
very needed.
I agree with that. I don't know, this is so close. LOCA on 900 very, very soon. They need... Hello, I'm James, and Yuta is out as well. 2 versus 4 it is. Still close. Can LOCA survive for long enough?
He has to survive. They have to work together very well for this to work. Evil Fantasy cannot afford to die. Kuma is heading towards base B. I'm not sure that that's going to be enough. Especially now.
But Komi and also Gaseo is now 1 shot as well. So if for Stars to kill us, Gaseo Jones, this is
oh my
over.
God. No, this was lost by, well, won actually by Foxtastic.
Yeah.
With the way that he played Gaseo and Komi.
True indeed. I didn't catch too much of what happened there, but that kill was all LOCA needed to win that one. BPS almost won it by hit points and guns, but really they couldn't have those tanks survive for long enough. And that was really, I think that was kind of a clutchy game by LOCA, but by no means they are lucky with that. They've played this one well. They responded fairly good enough, and getting both A and B proves to be a huge difference here.
And this definitely keeps the pressure on. Now, of course, well, I wouldn't say pressure, because like I said, both these teams are through. But the sort of pressure is on BPS to make it work. Because right now, there's potential match point for LOCA.
It's now match point to LOCA. Let's see about Serenity versus AP. Do we have a result?
Probably not. There's only been 3 games. We still have games to go.
So at least Serenity's not winning 3-0, or AP is not winning 3-0.
Depending on how fast the battles were as well, to be honest. It could still be. It also takes a bit of time for the game to update in-game with the tournament's settings, so to speak, the score.
Fair enough. I think that's that's right. But BPS, I think they're going for the same lineup, and so is LOCA. So I mean, I think both teams know the lineup they're taking. They know the advantages. They know it could work. But I think they just think that they just need better focus by better coordination. I think them keeping with the same tanks, I think they are going to improve on that, on the communication. We will see whether BPS is able to deal with LOCA without any mediums or lights. Let's go back into Hellas.
Yes. And they almost had it, to be fair. This was very close. If not for Foxtastic getting that kill on Casio, they would have had this.
And also Evil Fantasy losing, dying under the hands of, I forgot the player, but I'm sorry, LOCA. Amnesia, you know. So,
I always had the same thing. Basically the issue for me is that I confuse things that happened one match with the other. So if I think that person X killed person Y in one match, then I will sort of confuse that with other matches' kills.
Let's follow the F for a moment here. Is in the T20 is going to get a lot of spots up with the LOCA dropping a lot of speed boost. Will BPS have shots in? Ooh, a lot of tanks been spotted. The F dodging a shot, so that's good. But B is going to be captured by Kuma from North this time. Shots been done onto Onya. No, it's Fantastic, sorry. And once again, very similar stuff for both teams. Looking at C, not allowing any team to get hold of C, but the cap points are in favor of BPS this time. And
only a little bit though. Anything can still happen. We have E5 versus E5 happening at those bases. A little bit of damage being done both sides. Evil Fantasy now taking crossfire shots. Again in a very precarious position he's in. He can't really move away from that.
No, but I think BPS has to be really careful here. Once again, Evil Fantasy, that is a very, very dangerous position if he is not careful enough. If anyone in any team is not careful enough, that could be that could be the difference between a victory and a loss here. And LOCA is applying pressure. They've so far been training better than BPS. I think it's really close. It's really tight to call. The F spotted up
more damage there. The F is trolling around base A. Ute has been spotted.
Oh, we're looking for Ute. Will he be able to put a shot into the F from the backside? I don't think so. I think
no, not anymore.
I don't think so. Lucky F, he got it out safely, but now LOCA with more than 2,000 hit points advantage. This is looking grim for BPS though, although they have a cap lead. But LOCA, with the hit point advantage they have, a good push would do the job.
And you see them slowly repositioning themselves in a way where they can make that happen.
Yeah, I think the pressure point is going to be on Evil Fantasy though. He's going to receive a lot of pressure. Oh, great shot onto UTE by the F. Let's head down to his perspective. Are you going to put another shot in? I don't think so. UTE hit behind the rock once again. But it's all BPS needs to do, gradually chipping away hit points of LOCA. They have to do that. LOCA still more than 2k of hit point advantage. It's hard to tell.
It can still go every which way, but in this case, I do think LOCA has the advantage. I think this also means that it feels that the team that they're playing with is more settled than this BPS. This BPS was pretty much created just before the season started. And as amazing as these players are, you can tell that they're not as glued together as some teams. And I think that that also plays a role here, mainly because LOCA just plays more patiently. They're less eager, more likely to let BPS make the mistakes. That is why you see BPS's HP go down bit by bit, and LOCA holding on to most of them, and now LOCA is making a push. They're going after Evil Fantasy.
Or maybe
not.
Oh, maybe not.
Not sure what they're doing.
But equally, LOCA, I mean, the team was created after Blitz Premier Cup, also not a lot of time, to be honest with you, but at the moment, Evil Fantasy is the pressure point. He is going to go down very quickly, but look at Venusaur. These guys here is looking to support Evil Fantasy, but I'm not sure if he's able to survive for long enough. That would be the difference here.
Nope.
Phoenix now one shot.
Base A has now been capped. Phoenix is still alive, if barely. They're trying to keep the guys alive.
It's still really close to call. 7 versus 6. Seo Joe's acting GQ 3 versus 2. To focus on Anya here, but I don't think so. Gaseo is an important kill to the Phoenix. That's very important on the outside. The F is toying around with UTE 1 versus 1. It seems the F might be coming out on top, but UTE dropped the reactive armor. Anything could happen here, actually.
They need to be very careful. It's all about keeping that base advantage. UTE is staying in the base to keep BPS from getting points from there. So it will all be about who is winning this 1v1 at base A.
It's true, but...
And it's UTE!
Oh, that is important here, but C is going to be captured. Are they able to get the caps though? Kami is now worse for... It's now one shot. And Anya took some falling damage. Is now 2. A great kill onto Fantastic, but without enough. Kuma is now a one shot. Oh, yikes.
They basically have no option anymore unless they get an ammo rack here. And there we go. That sealed the deal, because Venusaur cannot get a kill anymore.
Very true indeed, and commiserations to BPS once again. It was close, but LOCA proves to be the better team here, and I think the difference is really Gravitas team losing too many hit points at the start, and I think that made it very, very difficult for Gravitas team to make a comeback. But by no means they've tried their absolute best to boot it back, to reduce the deficits as much as they could. But I think lose under 3,000 hit points of deficit, I think it's too much for BPS to handle there.
I think it's mainly LOCA won this game by playing as patiently as they did. And only making a move when they felt that they had to make the move. And of course the 1v1 between F and UTE.
That was so important.
That made all the difference. Had F won that one, then BPS would have won that match. And it's not saying anything against the F, it just didn't work out, so to speak.
And I mean, also you did drop the reactive armor during the 1v1 brawl. That
made all the difference.
A lot of difference. Yes, I agree with you. And 6 tanks do more than 2k for LOCA. BPS not far behind. 5 tanks do more than 2k. You can tell it's a very close match. BPS, you cannot take away the credit from them. The last, the late game phase, they've done absolutely what they could to salvage the mistake they had at the start, and I wish them all the best here. But they have a lot to prove in tomorrow's matches, where we'll be finding out very soon which team they are going to face.
Dun, 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 dun. Just want to point out again that both these teams are through, so there was not that much pressure. And Serenity beat APA 3-1.
Oh, that was a great result from Serenity. I think that was result that Serenity would be happy about. Let's forget about the first game. You know, it didn't happen. It didn't happen.
So how's Thomas Peterson doing?
It got the Serenity result right. Got the LOCA's result wrong. I think Thomas Peterson is biased to BPS, to be honest with you.
Just a bit.
Just a bit, yeah. So that means Serenity will be facing BPS tomorrow in the upper bracket first round LOCA against APA.
Yeah.
In the challenges
versus BPS, so that's going to be a tough pick for them as well.
Yep. It's still playing. Quick's still playing against Vale, so it could go every which way. And IW versus Raid, are we going to see a change? They're still playing.
They're still playing. Both the challenges things don't have a score just yet.
No. So it's going to be very close to call. I really like in the chat that the players from LOCA and also I'm not sure about BPS though. They are chatting in the chat, so I really love that. So, but I mean they finished their game, so they're coming in to review. They
to be fair, they shouldn't do that unless the video, as in the YouTube stream, already shows what's happened. Because if you come in, you're basically spoilering what has happened.
Oh, true. I agree with you. So, go back and play games.
No, I mean, I get that they want to talk, but at the same time, you're sort of ruining it for all the viewers because it makes sense that if you're there, you no longer have to play.
Yeah, I agree with you indeed. And oh my god, Raid got their revenge. 3-2 against IW. Congratulations to Raid.
Ooh. Well done.
Well done. And that means I think Thomas Peterson got another scoreline correctly. So this time it's the other way round.
Stop trying to defend the bot. There's no help for it.
The first game. I mean, Bad Box jinxed every clan in the last game. Thomas Peterson jinxed every clan in the first game and did fairly well in the final too. So you know, it's always a good thing to see when teams can do well, but Quick against Vale is still really, really tense. Don't know. I have no idea what's going to happen. Oh, Mutsu, it's getting a little bit stressed.
I feel him, to be honest.
Me too.
He has the patience of not quite a saint, but he's doing very well.
Oh, and also both Peter and Fuji are now in the general chat, so we can hop over and join them when we are ready.
Yeah, sure. Whenever.
Let's go. Let's go there then.
Maybe even steal your idea, because that seems a lot easier, because they don't necessarily have to win, and there will be a closest.
No. Hello.
Hello.
You're on Jack's stream now as well.
Yeah, mine is also still going, so it's fine.
Yeah, I always find that predicting damage is much easier than predicting the winner, because, like I said, I on Asia earlier, nobody predicted the winner.
Yeah, I tried to give a... Sorry. I had it happen to me right now. No one predicted Serenity to win, so I have some battle passes left.
I did. No.
Yeah.
By the way, Phil won 3-2 from Quick.
Ooh, interesting.
Thomas Peterson has been jinxing loads of people tonight. Jack keeps saying it's the bot and not him, but we all know the truth.
We do know the truth, yes.
So Vale got their revenge as well, and Raid did as well. 3-2.
Yeah.
Yep. What about
so everyone but BPS got their revenge?
So I have to ask, what happened with Alpa and Serenity? Is Alpa sort of worked out a way to deal with clans like Serenity and EG? My guess is that they would be hyper aggressive, but what did they actually do?
They were
hyper aggressive. They were aggressive. in the first,
But
first round.
it was not just mindless pushing either. It was very smart the way they played it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. Serenity also seemed a bit out of sorts, to be fair. And Every and I were talking about it, and I said they looked a bit cold. So that's not taking anything away from APA. APA played a charm. They outplayed them basically. It wasn't the Serenity that we've seen. And then when they went out against Reti, it was a completely different Serenity. Completely different.
So basically, they refound their form, so to speak.
Yep.
And during the rematch.
It was a pretty close call in a lot of these games, actually.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't like a resounding whitewash by. Even though it was 3-1, it wasn't a resounding whitewash by Serenity. But positioning, better focus fire again than what we saw in the first round.
Yeah, that's good. So they're basically adapting.
It's like the Emperor
on standing with low HPs, which just didn't happen previously.
Again, whilst you're here, though, I mean, did you see people Platt in that corner on the first game on Hellas? He was pushed by like 3 tanks, and he survived.
Yeah,
unbelievable. Unbelievable. he went down eventually, but we were saying this
about Days.
Days does it a lot. He manages to survive in an E5 when he shouldn't, and now Pipu Platt did it, and it's the way they're maneuvering their tanks is beautiful to watch. It really is.
Yeah. But ignoring our game, how did yours go with LOCA? They've been very dominant. Just looking at the result screens.
Mm-hmm. It was very close in a bunch of matches, though. The second to last, like the match before the very last one, LOCA won that because Casio couldn't hide enough behind a rock. That's the only reason they made that kill. And the very last match, LOCA won it because their E5 won versus the T22. And like nothing against them, but he dropped the reactive armor, so the T22 just could do less damage per shot. And it was like these very small bits of the battle that made that last bit of difference that they needed to win.
So it wasn't as a whitewash as the result makes
Absolutely
it
not, no.
No.
Okay.
No. Except, the first game LOCA was more dominant, and BPS was not focusing, was not very concentrated, where they gave a lot of chances for LOCA to isolate the tanks. But the grand final BPS, it looks a lot more focused and a lot more determined, and the games are very, very close. It could have gone either way for actually all the games, I would say. So
yeah, absolutely.
They've done really well.
I have to point out one thing though, that BPS won versus A1 and won not so much because they played better, but because A1 and N1 was having massive lag issues.
Ooh,
and they basically capitalized on that. And it made sense, of course they did that. And I'm not saying they won unjustified, but it's sort of like, it kind of feels like that is not how you want to win, so to speak. You want to win, you're better, you outplayed them, not because one tank drives straight out into the open, into the trains, on with the flank showing to your enemies.
Yeah, that's awful.
Yeah.
I mean, Reti played well. I think they can definitely take a lot out of this, but they just... I think we've talked about this with Fujit before. They are lacking just that experience and probably playing under pressure, partially. Because they didn't do a lot of things wrong. They just got massively outplayed by Serenity in the end. But they played well.
Yeah, we saw moments of their brilliance in the third game. On Winter Malanovka.
Oh, the third game. It was so beautiful. Because basically... what Can I talk about that, Fujit? I won't.
Of course.
The game was beautiful because it was Winter Mali. And Reti was playing double Vickers, actually. Which you don't see too often to begin with. And... especially in the meta that we have right now. But they sent them both to the A side, which is expected. But they let them sit behind the ridgeline and not actually go up. While Serenity had the Devil in their Vickers goal. And he spotted normally. He didn't see anyone. In fact, no one was spotted for quite some time. So he just went and capped A, which was fine. But once he finished that is when Reti strike. They pushed in their Vickers and an E5 together, killed our Devil, and then it just absolutely was a farm fest, because Serenity was out of position, their focus fire was all over the place, And even though they ammo-wrecked someone from Reti, they just couldn't stabilize. Because of
Well done,
shielding,
yes.
blocking by players. That was probably peak Reti gameplay, but they couldn't replicate it.
No.
Alright.
So beautiful.
Yeah. I can't wait to stream the games tomorrow as well. And I mean, every,
Yeah.
it's going to be some very exciting matches to watch. And now top 4, APA, Serenity, LOCA, and BPS. I don't know, it's going to be a tight call in whichever will win this one now. Because I think you can make a case for any clan here. Especially when Endgame's not here.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think Endgame out of the picture definitely gives a lot of breathing room to these teams, but it also makes it a lot more intense. Because their skill level is not all that different. It all will come down to who reacts better, who has better strats, and maybe even a bit of player experience, but I don't think it will be too significant.
I think it can also be how well a team is glued together. One of the things that I noticed in the last couple of matches on Hellas with LOCA versus BPS is that LOCA is just playing more patiently, and the sort of impatience that BPS has kind of feels like what you get with a newly formed team. And of course, they were made like not long before this whole bit started, so to speak. So I think that that's also going to play a part tomorrow and the days after.
Very true. On my stream, you're seeing the winners of the Battle Pass giveaway. So congratulations to all of them. I have to double check with one of the username though, because I had you as a winner yesterday, but your name does not show up in the, from my from Blitzstar. So I have to double check whether it's right. So bear with me on that. But sorry for the digression.
That's fine. But I'm just gonna then round it up as saying we all saw fantastic games tonight.
Yes, absolutely.
And I'm definitely going to round it up because we've got NA again in like
Oh, God,
4.5 hours.
And
Maybe one thing we need to probably remind people of though is the change made for EU tomorrow for the streams, because we will have me and Jack co-commentating, but Aminet and Fujin will go down to the challenges.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that. I think you and Jack and me and Fujit will have to solo commentate the first match because, as per usual, there's 2 matches happening at once. The first round.
How do we do that actually? Because I think Jack we talked about this, but we couldn't figure it out, or we just forgot.
I think I did it with Eminet. Is that we both just do it separately, and we keep our streams alive. But everything is streamed at the same time, like the same thing, but stream on 2 different channels in the second game. We can do that tomorrow.
And we just join up on voice whenever we're ready after the first matchup.
Yes.
And then the other one joins when they're ready, and you go together from there.
Right, so we need separate streams, so we need to tell...
yeah, let's Sirius know that he sets up that way.
Yeah, I was already talking about. I would love for the next season to have a different format that will not have this happen, because we want to stream as much as possible, but at the same time, it's when you have to die hard stream as much as we do these days. It's very nice to be able to co-commentate.
Yeah.
It also depends from people to person to person as well. Whether I mean, it all depends on how they feel it. So I think both solo commentary and co-commentary, they have their own merits, and it really also depends on how you feel at that moment as well.
But yeah, so that's just a reminder. We'll have double ups and you 2 down at challenges, so we can finally have some appreciation for the EUs too. Have those be seen, because all of the challenges have now been streamed, because we had one on Russia as well, and I mean that you had Asia, and me and Jack did NA already, so EU finally some focus as well. That's nice to see. But yeah, that's the plan, so that everyone is aware. Do we have anything else to discuss?
No, that's it for me. I wish you
for me
all a
too.
very good night, and I will see everyone tonight for the NA streams.
And I will dash off for what we're going to watch next.
Oh yeah, Jack, you're gonna be
Yes,
on.
exactly.
You're gonna be on my stream, won't you, Jack?
Yes, but that's much later. But we have more important.
I mean,
things
for
to
an
do
A.
right after.
He means
yes.
Eurovision Song Contest.
Yes.
I will ask about that later. But regardless of that, thank you guys for the talk.
Thank you.
And
Thank
we'll
you.
see each other soon then.
See you too.
Absolutely.